Welcome to the NCAA Division II Football Championship semifinal, presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. North Alabama taking on the hometown Northwest Missouri State Bearcats. The winner goes to the title game. To Jimmy V Week on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation for Cancer Research in tribute to Jim Valvano and his dream to defeat cancer. The semifinal matchup, two of the storied programs in Division II history between North Alabama and Northwest Missouri State. The winner takes on Minnesota Duluth. An impressive winner today on the road at California, Pennsylvania, just 1 week after the Bulldogs went to Grand Valley State and beat the Lakers. And we welcome you to Maryville, Missouri. Pam Ward along with Ray Bentley. And these two teams might be playing Division II football, but there is some Division I talent, starting with A.J. Milwee, the North Alabama quarterback who transferred from Alabama.
Yeah, he is a good one, no doubt about it. A smaller guy, just at 5'9", so he moves around to find those throwing lanes. He really reminds me of Doug Flutie. People may not remember how accurate of a passer Flutie was. Well, he is just as accurate. He throws dimes all over the field, extremely accurate, and then he'll throw it away, makes good decisions, and then he'll beat you with his feet as well, particularly as the game goes on and develops further.
So we will see Milwee, who transferred because John Parker Wilson came in the same year as he did in Tuscaloosa. Northwest Missouri State has won 12 straight ball games, and they also have a talented quarterback in Joel Osborne. Joel
Osborne is a special kid. At least that's what his coach, Adam Dorrell, tells us, and I believe it. Just from watching him play the game, he's a clutch guy. I mean, as clutch as it gets. When a play needs to be made, he makes it. Doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but when you watch him, he gets the ball where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. If I compared Milwee to Flutie, I got to compare Osborne to Peyton Manning. That's how he operates his offense.
Some pretty heady company for both of these quarterbacks. They're trying to get back to the national championship game. Northwest Missouri State has lost 3 straight national title games. North Alabama, they have 3 national championships in their history, and they try to go home to play for one next week. Kickoff coming up between the Bearcats and the Lions.
ESPN's College Football is brought to you by Campbell's Chunky, official soup and chili sponsor of the NFL.
We are just moments away from kickoff in this Division II semifinal. Northwest Missouri State has 2 national championships on its resume. The Lions of North Alabama have won 3. Both of them will try to play Minnesota Duluth in next week's championship game. Let's go back to the only time these two teams played. It was in the semifinals in 2005. Anthony Merritt scoring for North Alabama. They are up 7. The lead was cut to 5 on a Northwest safety. Then Josh Lamberson, the game winner to Raphael Robinson, who is still playing for Northwest. They win it 25-24 and advanced on to the national championship game. Let's take a look at the comparison between these two schools, and just about every year you will see both teams participating in the playoffs. Between them, they have 5 national championships. Northwest Missouri State, again, has gone to 3 straight national championships, lost all 3. North Alabama trying to go back home because their home field in Florence is the host of the national championship game. Mel Churchman has done wonderful things in his seasons at Northwest Missouri. Now in his 15th season, he has 24 postseason wins. That is the most for any Division II coach. Mark Hudspeth in his 7th season has 5 10-win years, including 4 in a row. And the only team he has a losing record to, of any club he's played more than once, is this team. He's trying not to go to 0-2 against Northwest Missouri. It's sunny, but it is cold. 32 degrees, the wind's gusting at least 26 miles an hour, and we are disputing officially the wind chill. We think it's colder.
And the wind is really kicking up. I think it's going to have a huge effect on this ball game today.
North Alabama wearing the white with their purple pants, and the wind already has had an effect because it's blown the ball off the tee.
I think it's going to affect not only the passing of this ball game, but special teams in particular. We saw some punting in pregame, Pam, where the ball actually changed directions. Coming back right at you if you get it up in the air too high.
Knocked down by this wind. Northwest Missouri State won the toss, but deferred. North Alabama wants it, and they get it. Charles McClain from inside his own end zone decides to take it out. Northwest Missouri makes him pay by tackling him down at the 17-yard line. That is an 18-yard return. Justin Welch, who was a cornerback, made the stop. A.J. Milwee from Alabama. He is a Harlan Hill Trophy finalist, one of 3 battling for what is in effect the Heisman Trophy of Division II.
Yeah, and the thing that strikes me, 33-4 is his record as a starting quarterback. That's pretty good winning percentage right there.
His coaches say he throws the most accurate ball of anyone they have ever seen. And we get to see it here for the first time. Milwee on the move, has everybody covered. He gets outside of the tackle box and throws it away. Terrific pressure coming from Northwest Missouri State to force that throwaway. And across the top of your screen, you're going to see the lineups for this North Alabama football team. 12-1 on the season. Like Northwest Missouri, they avenged their sole loss of the season, this time to Delta State, with their win in the quarterfinal last week. First running play to David McCants, and he gets stacked up just past the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a couple of tough yards. Impact players for North Alabama. They play in the tough Gulf South Conference. David McCants, you've already seen him return a kick, and he is their leading running back. Ed Gant, the wide receiver. And Rocky Coleman, another guy who'll catch some footballs.
He's the guy they try to get it to early and establish in this offense. And he is great at running after the catch. He will fight you for every little inch out there, and he's got really good hands.
And they are down one starter. Jamel Campbell, their leading receiver, will not play today because of a violation of team rules. And the home crowd getting into it. A.J. Milwee calls the timeout for the Lions.
North Alabama.
We will take the timeout as well. A 3rd and 9 coming up for the Lions as they try to get back to the national championship game.
ESPN's College Football is presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. And in part by Pizza Hut. Introducing Panormas, Pizza Hut's biggest pan pizza ever.
Northwest Missouri State has been a leader in energy efficiency. They have an energy plant that's been retrofitted. Those are pellets created from recycled paper from the campus, and they throw them right in that oven there, and they help to energize the campus. And that's looking pretty good right now, all that heat and fire.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm glad we're in an enclosed booth here, enjoying the warmth. It's a little nippy out there, especially with the wind whipping down the plain.
And the wind for the second time today has blown the football off the kicking tee. Northwest Missouri State striking first. Tommy Freevert with a 30-yard field goal. And Freevert's about to kick it off. And there you see the wind. Freevert kicking with the wind this time.
That's something we're going to look at throughout the day, Pam. Points with the wind. There the ball goes tumbling down again. He's going to have to get someone to hold it for him now. I think they only give you 2 tries at teeing it up by yourself. And they're going to give him another one, but that wind is whipping, and it will affect this ballgame. We've already seen it give the Bearcats great field position on their first possession. All
right, that's 3, so here comes the hold now.
Usually you get 2 shots at it, and the officials gave them an extra one. Now they're going to have to hold it.
Robert Dalton is our referee today. Northwest Missouri State got here with a win over Abilene Christian, the only team to beat them this year. That happened way back in the first week of the season. And yes, that's the Abilene Christian team that put up 93 points a week before they played the Bearcats.
I thought that was a basketball score.
I thought it was a typo. Oh, look at that kick through the end zone. Freevert nails it. Charles McClain watches it go over his head. The wind was with Freevert, and boy, you could tell on that kick. So where exactly are these schools? Let's check out our Google Maps. Florence, Alabama, the home of North Alabama. It is in northern Alabama. There you see Birmingham in relation to Florence, which hosts the national championship game, has for the last 23 years. Lions fans really wanting to go back home and play in the title game. They have not played in the title game since 1995. 1st and 10 to running backs McClendon and Pickett. McClendon gets it. Goes around right end and doesn't get much. Taken down around the line of scrimmage. Adam Vondrak and Evan Wilmus, two of the linebackers, making the play. North Alabama in Florence, 7,300 folks go to that school, and they play in a very, very good conference, the Gulf South.
Yeah, I'm extremely impressed with the Gulf South Conference. You know, they play some really good, wide-open, spread-type football down there.
They have 9 national champions out of that conference, more than any other in Division II. 2nd and 9. Milwee floats one up towards the sideline and almost intercepted. Chris LaFleur was there. Rocky Coleman actually had to make the defensive play for North Alabama.
And Coleman got forced out of bounds. Excellent coverage by Chris LaFleur on the press, riding the physical Coleman outside. Coleman usually wins those physical battles. Not that time. LaFleur had his number.
LaFleur originally went to Nebraska for football and then transferred here. 2nd, 3rd, and 9 for North Alabama today. Ed Gant goes in motion. Milwee changing things up. Play clock winding down. And he calls a timeout in the nick of time. The fans at Northwest Missouri State heating up the stadium with their enthusiasm. And another 3rd and long coming up. Bubba's Barbecue on Main Street here in Maryville, Missouri. The place to go if you want some barbecue. And we are just a couple of miles away from that. I'm sure some folks stopped by Bubba's on the way to the stadium, Bearcat Stadium, where North Alabama has called a timeout for the 2nd time today on a 3rd and 9. They got nothing the first time, and now Milwee falls short the 2nd time. The quarterback stopped by Willie Horn, Joe Horn's little brother, stopping Milwee after 5 yards.
Just a 3-man rush from the Bearcats, covering with 8, and they drop the linebackers down into the back here, and then watch them come up and close once Milwee starts scrambling. Bam, right there you got all 3 of these linebackers closing around, containing him, because they know he is a threat to pick up first downs when he runs out of that backfield.
Last time Will Baston punted into the wind, it was for 17 yards. That one was almost blocked. And takes a huge northwest bounce to the 36-yard line. That punt went for 9 yards. Good pressure by Chad Kilgore, a true freshman, on the punt. And boy, Batson can't wait for the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, this is when you're going against the wind, it's almost like you're going 11 on 12, because it's another man out on the field that is really a big factor. Look at that thing. Stops, rolls backwards. That wind, I'm telling you, the Bearcats have to take advantage. Whoever has the wind has to get points when they have the wind.
Northwest Missouri got 3 points the last time they had the ball. And now Council, the 1,500-yard rusher, rambles all the way down to the 22-yard line. David Raymond, who is a transfer from Middle Tennessee State, made the stop.
Just a little crack sweep where the tight end's going to block down and the tackle's going to pull around. Watch, see the tight end block down, and then Jason Wiseman, the big tackle, number 73, pulls around and leads the way. And then running downhill all the way on that was LC, Laurent Council.
Council picked up 13 yards. First down now on the 22. Right back to Council. He runs in to one of his offensive linemen up the back of Jeremy Davis, and then skipped out for a 5-yard gain. Kerry Orr with the tackle. And they had a terrific running back last year, Xavier Oman, who is in the NFL now, and Council's had a couple of years of injuries, and also playing behind Oman, you're not going to get the ball a lot, but he's been terrific this season.
Yeah, they couldn't be more happy with the way LC has risen and filled that void that Oman left.
Right back to Council. Terrific block. Springs him. Boy, that was Brant Gregg, the fullback. They love the way he blocks. He got a good one there, and that's a first down. Northwest Missouri State trying to get back into the national championship game for the 4th straight season, losing to Abilene Christian on opening day, 44-27. Avenged that with a 45-36 win last week. It beat Pittsburgh State the week before that. They had a bye in the first week, as did North Alabama. Osborne rolls, throws, hits. Josh Gannon, the tight end who had a big catch earlier in this game. Mel Churchma leading his ball club again, and there you see the bye in the first round. 24 teams go to the Division II playoffs, and boy, that Abilene Christian, what a win that was, and that was on the road.
Right, and that was a revenge. They lost their opener to Abilene Christian, 44-27.
And again, Abilene Christian the week before scored 93 points. And the defensive coordinator for Northwest said he was confident they wouldn't give up 93. They didn't. Shannon into the end zone. Brian Shannon catching the pass from Joel Osborne, and Northwest Missouri strikes.
Shannon was the inside guy on that cluster, the bunch formation, and the Lions lost total track of it.
Brian Shannon, the sophomore from Council Bluffs, Iowa, with his 22nd catch of the year and gets his first touchdown today. And Northwest Missouri is out to a 10-0 lead on their home field. Freevert adds the extra point.
They got the wind, and that's what's key.
Northwest Missouri State, another short field. Joel Osborne took advantage, throwing his 23rd touchdown pass of the season. NCAA Division II Football Championship concludes on ESPN2 HD next Saturday at 1 Eastern. For a preview of every NCAA National Championship, including the Division II Football Championship, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. And it is so far so good for the Bearcats. They're trying to get back to Florence to play in that game next week. They've gone 3 straight years. They've lost those 3 title games by a grand total of 12 points.
Right, 3, 4, and then 5.
And my colleague Ray Bentley is a member of the Buffalo Bills. You kind of know how that feels, going back to the big one and falling short.
I could have gone all day without you mentioning that.
Well, you know, that's why I'm here, buddy.
I appreciate it.
And that's exactly what Mel Churchma said to us yesterday, the Northwest Missouri coach. When you asked him, and he's like, I was hoping you wouldn't get to that. But he says it's obviously stings after you lose, but he said after they won their championships, he said about a month later, it kind of didn't really affect him that much.
Life shows on.
Wow, almost coming out of the end zone. Chris McLean was stopped by David McCants, and he was about 2 inches of coming out. Let's go to Wendy next in the studio. Wendy.
Pam, thank you very much. We'll take you to Atlanta. One of the 2 biggest games of the day, the SEC Championship, Alabama and Florida. Tim Tebow to Carl Moore. Moore's first touchdown reception of the year. The Gators strike first, but 2 plays later, Bama would answer. This one all tied up. We'll show you that touchdown in just a minute. Pam?
Thank you, Wendy. And I know she meant the other big game today is this one.
Exactly.
The Division II semifinal. There's another fairly large game going on down the road in Kansas City. Mike McClendon, the running back, gets the handoff and fumbles. Northwest Missouri picks up the football. Aldwin Foster Rettig gets the turnover, and they're in business again.
And that's Willie Horn, the linebacker, who came flying in there and made a textbook tackle. Put his head on the football, kept his feet driving, he dipped, he lifted, and he drove, and it knocked the ball out. There he is, 52 Horn, stepping into the hole, and you see that wrap up, ball comes up, and you just scoop and score is what you want to do. But Foster Rettig, he scooped, he didn't score.
And for the 3rd straight time, Northwest Missouri State starts in North Alabama territory. First down from the 15. They're already up 10-0. Stopped in his tracks. LaRon LaRon Council hit by Montrell Kraft. His brother plays on this team. And this Northwest Missouri State defense, we already mentioned that North Alabama's plus 31, but Northwest Missouri State, they're not shirkers either, as they're about a plus 8 in the turnover category. And this has really turned into a disastrous first quarter for the Lions. Yeah, but I think it's all going to change when the quarter flips. I think a lot of it has to do with the wind, although this turnover had nothing to do with it. That was just a big hit by Horn. 2nd and 12. Council lost 2 yards on the carry. Grant Gregg, the fullback, in front of Council. Play action. Osborne rolls, throws towards the end zone. A lot of contact on Josh Gannon. Anton Bowen with the coverage. No flag.
I think that's pretty good coverage there by Bowen. The feet are going to get tangled up at the end, but look at the starting field position, and a lot of this has to do, Pam, with the wind. The 2 punts that we saw that didn't go anywhere, and then this most recent one was the turnover. But I think you have to get touchdowns when you have the wind at your back. So far, Northwest 1 for 2. 3rd and 12. Blitz is picked up. Osborne slings it and completes it close to the first down. Kendall Wright, the wide receiver, and it is indeed a first down for the Bearcats. Boy, this is one of the best throws I've seen Joel Osborne make. Watch him step into this one and then follow through. Bam, follow through over the top. He threw a strike right down the heart of the plate to Kendall Wright in front of Bobby Brooks. Wright is a terrific receiver in the top 5 of all major receiving categories in the history of Northwest Missouri. And you see Osborne very good last week against Abilene Christian. 1st and goal from the 4. Council going over the left side and into the end zone. The Bearcats rolling. Council with his 32nd rushing touchdown of the season. And to put that in perspective, LaShawn McCoy for Pittsburgh, leading the NCAA Division I going into this weekend with 20 rushing touchdowns. This kid has a dozen more. Yeah, 32, 30. That's a lot of touchdowns. He's got 1 receiving as well. 33 total on the year. Freevert for the extra point. 17-0 Northwest Missouri State, out to a practically perfect start to this game. And right there it is, the hole onto the outside. A nice cut by LC LaRon Council. But how about the blocking on the left side of the line? Tom Pestock and Reed Kirby, along with the tight end Josh Gannon, just paving the way, clearing people out. And that's that strong side of the line. When we talked to Adam Dorrell, the offensive coordinator, those were the guys he named as, you know, just being outstanding for him. Pestock, Kirby. The other one he threw in there was Jeremy Davis. And then they love Matt Nelson, their scrappy center, who was a townie from Maryville. That is what they call each other, Maryville, the Spoof Hounds, the best mascot name in the nation. Yeah. And they have quite a few Spoof Hounds. And, boy, 2 touchdowns in the last $127. That one helped by the fumble recovery. And North Alabama already finding itself in trouble. But as you mentioned, Ray, when the second quarter flips, they have the wind at their back, and that has made a huge difference in this game. 6 minutes more with the wind, and you got to get it while the getting's good, and the getting has been pretty good so far for the Bearcats. Bearcats starting field position on its 3 possessions, the 29 of North Alabama. North Alabama starting on its own 19. What a difference. I think North Alabama's got to find a way to get a first down, and they got to run the football a little bit. 10 total yards for the Lions. Another rocket into the end zone. North Alabama starts at the 20 as we go back to Wendy Nix.
Pam, we showed you how Florida got on the board in that SEC championship game. 2 plays later, Alabama would answer after a significant catch and run by Julio Jones. Glenn Coffey will take it in. It was close. Looked like he was down. It was reviewed, though. Touchdown. 7-all in Atlanta. Also, the ACC championship game is official. Virginia Tech defeating Boston College 30-12 to capture their 2nd straight ACC title.
Thank you, Wendy. And both of those ACC titles coming against the Eagles of Boston College. A little shuffle pass to David McCants, and he is seeing nothing but green. Goes down at the 10-yard line. Tyler Roach got him low. They lost 10 yards.
This is McCants just trying to do too much here. You can't get it all back in just one play. You just got to take your loss. He's going to get whacked early right here. He steps up into the hole, and Sean Paddock had the penetration, and now you start doubling back, and you keep going backwards. You just can't do that, and Roach ends up flipping the toe and making the tackle.
With that loss, North Alabama has 0 total yards in this game. In the end zone. Incomplete, looking for Ed Gant, the senior from Fort Myers, was blanketed by Miles Burnside, number 15 for Northwest Missouri, another townie from Maryville, and they absolutely love this kid. And I know you said he might be the best free safety you've seen this year.
Yeah, and I know that it's not the same competition, but I don't really care. He's as good a free safety that I have seen in terms of not only the way he plays, but his coverage skills, and then the way he directs traffic out there. Look at him out here. He's just making all the calls, pointing things out. He's the leader. He's the general on this field for the Bearcats and Scott Bestwick's defense.
The defensive MVP in his conference. Another 3rd and long, and another interception. Almost. That ball was handled by a lot of guys before it fell to the field turf. Chris LaFleur covering Rocky Coleman.
Well, and Milwee has to be careful because he took a big chance there, just throwing it up into that wind. And you see LaFleur jump in front, and that's the second time that we've seen Rocky Coleman revert to defense from the offensive spot and break up a potential interception.
Good field position on the horizon again for the Bearcats. Will Batson has a 17-yard punt and a 9-yard punt going into the wind. Looked like it was off the side of his foot, and it goes out of bounds. Marked inside the 30, inside the 25. Are you kidding me? They're going to start from the 23-yard line. That was a 13-yard punt. Coming up tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Chase Daniel leads Missouri against Oklahoma. A win in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Oklahoma could be vaulted into the BCS Championship game. That's tonight, 8 Eastern on ABC. That one is being played in Kansas City, the closest major city to us. About an hour and a half away from Maryville, give or take. 23-yard line where Northwest Missouri gives it to the guy who just scored the touchdown, LaRon Council. And Council runs for another first down. Michael Johnson, the middle linebacker, induced him out. And this is not a day where you want to be a punter. Will Batson is seeing that average. Again, he came in 3rd in the nation in punting. That average is plummeting.
13 yards a punt. And, you know, it really, other than that last one, which I think he tried to line drive to cut through the wind. Maybe if you're a golfer, you're familiar with that technique. But it's really a no-win situation. And we'll see what happens when the wind flips, when these teams change hands in the quarter.
Council with the carry once again. Montrell Kraft with the stop. So it's been a tough day for Will Batson. And when he came off the field the last time, he took his helmet and just crashed it into the track that lines the stadium. And we have not seen, Northwest Missouri has not had to punt. We have seen their kickoff sail deeper through the end zone. But what a start it is. Mark Hudspeth, the head coach, has his team down 17-0. Pitch to Council over the left side of the line that has been so good, but that was terrific pursuit by the Lions defense. David Raymond, who is a transfer, senior from Atlanta, coming up to make the stop. We have our first flag.
Tacklers led by Johnson.
Also have a player down on the field. Trying to get the number for you. It looks like it's Kerry Orr, the inside linebacker, who came and blew that play up pretty good. I mean, he came and just laid his body out against that sweep. There are 3 or 4 green Valley's running around the edge, blocking.
Illegal motion, number 84, going toward the line of scrimmage at the snap. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Josh Gannon, the tight end, moving early while they attend to carry over. Let's show you where Northwest Missouri State is. Yes, it is in the northwestern corner of Missouri. You got Kansas, you got Iowa, you got Nebraska, and Missouri all sort of converging in that corner. And you go inside of Maryville, and there is the campus of this school, Northwest Missouri State, founded in 1905. 6,900 students call Maryville home, and Mel Churchma has done a terrific job in his 15 seasons taking over a program that was in disarray. They don't like to take junior college players as a rule unless they really have a need, and they believe in redshirting their kids and developing football players.
And they do one heck of a job of it.
2nd and 12 or off the field. Joe Osborne calling out Pittsburgh, and they run up the middle to LaRon Council, who picked up 4 yards on the play. We are in Maryville, Missouri. The school founded in 1905, and they are in the Mid-America Intercollegiate Athletics Association. That is the conference in which they play. They have won 12 straight ball games to get here. North Alabama with 1 loss themselves on the season. 3rd and 8. 3 receivers to the left of Osborne, going over the middle, and that play was broken up. Raphael Robinson was the intended receiver. Good job by Chad Daniel to get a hand in there. And Robinson, as a flag is down on that play, Robinson is the guy who caught the game-winning touchdown. The only other time these two teams played, that was in an 05 semifinal.
It looked like Council headed towards the line a little too early. He went out in motion to the outside.
Illegal motion, number 24, going toward the line of scrimmage at the snap. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Robert Dalton meant to say 27. There is no 24 out there.
Right. Hate to correct the man, but
he's cold.
When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, his eyes are probably cold and fuzzing up over the numbers right now. Tommy Freebert has hit a 30-yard field goal and a couple of extra points. This one is from 26 yards out, and he has the wind at his back. An extreme angle, and it doesn't bother him one bit. Freebert puts it through. Northwest Missouri State now 4 for 4 in its possessions, all 4 of them starting on North Alabama's side of the field.
And 2 for 4 in those possessions on touchdowns, which is key. And I really think this thing is going to switch when these teams switch ends and the wind is going into the face of the Bearcats rather than at their backs.
Minnesota Duluth looked terrific earlier today, winning at California, Pennsylvania 45-7. They are unbeaten. Look out for the Bulldogs kind of sneaking through everything. North Alabama and Northwest Missouri State, the bigger names, but the Bulldogs are a force.
Apparently so. The big one, they got past the Grand Valley State Lakers a couple weeks back in an overtime game, 19-13. And that was a big win. You go into Grand Valley and you win in the playoffs. That's pretty good. Here's a look at the old Bulldogs.
That's a huge school, 11,500. That's pretty big for D2, playing in the Northern Sun Championship. And next Saturday, you will see them in their first ever national championship appearance. And Ray and I will be there looking forward. It's great. I love calling these championship games. These games that mean so much. And we will be in Florence next week. The question is, who will play Duluth? Charles McClain, actually with an opportunity to catch a kickoff outside of the end zone, is spun around at the 22. Justin Welch, who was in as a starting cornerback for Brandon Clayton, who is out today for Northwest Missouri.
Let's take a look at the key plays in this first half. Here, the nice throw by Osborne. Someone on his legs, and he gets it across the body to Shannon for the touchdown. Then the big hit from Horn, forcing the fumble, and then LC, Laurent Council, follows it up with a touchdown on the ground.
Pretty good field position for North Alabama, for them.
Relatively speaking.
Yep, starting at the 22-yard line. Short pass pass complete to McClendon, the tailback, and he loses yardage. They can't throw the ball downfield. The wind is fierce, so they go short, and Tyler Northway with the tackle.
Excellent job using the hands by Northway, the big senior, fighting off the block. But I'm telling you, this Lions offense, they need to start running the football a little bit. You know, they keep throwing it into the wind. That's like spitting into the wind.
And they're going backwards. They lost yardage on that play and are -4 for the game. Short pass completed to McCants. A little juke move, and he didn't get much. Ball, another fumble, but North Alabama with the football. McCants able to recover his own fumble.
And Northway came across there at first and swung a big club and hit him. And then it looked like Wilmus came in and knocked it out. And the Lions very fortunate that they fell on that one, and now they're facing another 3rd and long. And the problem is there is no threat throwing the ball down the field. So the Bearcats are staying near the line of scrimmage, and when they dump the ball off, they are flying, frenzying towards the football.
Milwee escapes one would-be sacker, and A.J. Milwee takes a big hit short of the 30-yard line, well short of the first down, but he was able to get some yardage back. Shane Shade was in with the initial pressure.
And then Miles Burnside came up from his free safety spot. Put a pretty good whack on A.J. Milwee.
Milwee played sparingly in that 2005 semifinal game, the loss to the Bearcats. He said what he did remember was how physical the Bearcats were.
And they are flying around and being very physical in this ball game. They're dominating both lines of scrimmage right now. And you just got to wonder how much will it change in 1 minute and 8 seconds when they flip sides of the field.
The entire game has been played on this side of the 50-yard line, and we expect to see that throughout the day. They are just a huge wind blowing across the stadium. Help us beat cancer. To donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research, call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V or log on to www.jimmyv.org. 100% of your donations are given over to cancer research. It is a terrific charity that ESPN has been partnering with those good folks for many years, and that band guy can't wait to get in out of the cold. He is frigid here.
Yeah, you know what? I would fake the punt right here. You can't kick it more than 13 yards anyway, right? What do you got to lose?
Well, Baston almost got it blocked. Field position, starting field position for Northwest Missouri State so far. That was a 20-yard punt. Well done by Baston, who has been beleaguered by this win for the entire first quarter.
How about that? The Bearcats starting again in the Lions field on their side of the 50. And the average starting field position, amazing. They're averaging and starting on their opponent's 32-yard line is Northwest.
Starting on the 49, Joel Osborne running the show. Little play action. And he has his tight end wide open, Josh Gannon, but they weren't able to complete it.
And my knock on Joel Osborne is that sometimes he will throw the ball. He just floats the ball a little bit on some of these shorter throws. He doesn't quite finish it and follow through. It's almost like he's aiming it, although that one probably should have been caught. Gannon, that one wasn't too high. He should have had that one.
Threw for over 3,000 yards on the season, 68% completion. And his coaches, Adam Durrell, his offensive coordinator, said, you'll see him throw some ugly balls out there. But they love his competitiveness. That time taken down, sacked. Santana Suggs coming in, grabbed Osborne high, and got the big play.
That's some of the blitz that Carl Morgan, the defensive coordinator, likes to dial up with this Lions defense. He'll bring guys from all over the place, a big zone blitz team. You'll see it coming off of this edge. Suggs not even in the picture. That's how far outside he is when he does blitz. There he is. He shows up, and then he just power rushes over the back and then whacks the quarterback for a sack.
Losing 4 yards on the sack. Brings up 3rd and 14. Osborne. Incomplete. Suggs with a big hit on Brian Shannon, who caught a touchdown pass earlier. And no flag. Shannon won for interference.
And Suggs got there early. You could hear it by the crack of the pads. He got away with one here, caught himself a break. Because watch, the hit came just an instant before the ball got there, but he definitely hit Shannon early, but no flag.
For the first time today, Michael Stadler in to punt with the wind at his back. And that one goes out of bounds.
Well, now you're going to get some trash talk going there, and a penalty flag flew out. And it'll be interesting to see who it's on.
Only a 32-yard punt for Stadler.
His angle was bad. He kicked it about 60, but on an angle out of bounds. But I want to see who this penalty's on, because there was 2 guys that went after each other, and I don't know if somebody said a magic word. There wasn't really much physical going on between the 2 of them, but the flag definitely came out.
Northwest Missouri State out to the 20-0 lead. The winner playing Minnesota Duluth a week from today in Florence for the national championship.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 21, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Kevin Oconta, who is a backup cornerback for Northwest.
Yeah, that's just getting too excited in a ball game. You see, he took a little bit of a shot there from Charles McLean, gave him a little push like that. Boy, that's ticky-tack. If that's what, and maybe he said something that's out of our ear range. I'm hoping that's what it was, because if they're going to call that as a penalty, I think that's ticky-tack.
So the 36-yard line, the best starting position for North Alabama in this game. Should be the last play of the first quarter. North Alabama couldn't be happier. Milwee hands it off to Ed Gant, his receiver, who comes around and picks up 9 yards, their best offensive play of the day, and a good way to close the book on a first quarter that belonged to Mel Churchma and Northwest Missouri State. The Bearcats trying to get back to the championship game for the 4th straight year. Up big.
College football.
Rocky Coleman with the football for North Alabama, and a flag comes down late. North Alabama now with the win finally at their back as the second quarter gets started, trying to get onto the scoreboard.
Face mask, number 15 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Miles Burnside flagged for the face mask. The Townie with the play, and North Alabama getting help from some penalties for field position.
And you almost just feel that wind at their back. You know, it just has a different feel.
First down of the game for North Alabama. Milwee rolling out, throws very well on the run and does just that, finding Jusman Rivers. Jusman's first reception picks up 6 yards. Mark Hudspeth, the head coach. That's Mo Dampier. There's no mistaking 74, is there, for Northwest Missouri? He's a big guy, and he can't play too many plays in a row.
No, they've got him. He's down about 40 pounds since they got him. He's still about 400.
3. The run play for David McCants goes out of bounds around the 16-yard line, picked up 3. Mark Hudspeth, the head coach for North Alabama, he is the one who calls the plays for this offense. Were you surprised that in the first quarter, North Alabama, fighting the wind, threw the ball 7 times and only ran it 6 times?
Yeah, I really am, and I don't think it was really a smart tactic, because when you throw the ball, the clock goes faster. Now, when you're going against a wind like we have here today, I say, run the football, eat up the clock, try to get something established in a physical nature on the ground, and keep the ball away from your opponent. Now that the wind's at your back, now light it up. And it looks like they are. They look like a different team, don't they?
They sure do. They picked up a first down. And they have it at the 16. McCants right up the middle, gets hit. Ike Uramiki did a good job to come in and hit him low, and it was only a 2-yard gain for McCants.
That's a great play by Uramiki, who, according to defensive coordinator Scott Bostwick, is, I guess, a Chippendale.
Yeah, he said he should become a Chippendale dancer when he's done playing football. Says he is cut like nobody's business. He walked on, a native of Nigeria, and is becoming a really good football player.
Great athlete, too.
2nd and 8, Milwee on the roll. Finds his man on the sidelines. That is Ed Gant, who picks up 6 more.
And now Milwee's starting to get a little more comfortable. And you see him on the move. He is so accurate. I think he throws better almost on the move than he does standing in the pocket. And that's a tough thing to be able to do, to be able to have that coordination, that athleticism, to be able to throw it where you want it, in a tight spot while you're on the run at full speed, and yet Milwee makes it look easy.
They've gone 55 yards on this drive. They're 0 for 4 on 3rd downs. This is a 3rd and 3. Milwee rolling to his left, looking into the end zone, and it's incomplete. A flag is down. Justin Welch covering Jusman Rivers.
And he was holding him. So it's either interference or holding, but Welch was all over Rivers. Things are a little different for Coach Churchman when the wind's in his players' face.
Pass interference, 17 of the defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed on the 2-yard line. 1st down.
Number 7, Justin Welch, playing for Brandon Clayton, who's out with another knee injury.
Well, there it is. I mean, you see he had a hold of the back of the jersey. And that's an obvious pass interference, as obvious as you'll get.
4 penalties now against the Bearcats, 3 of which have resulted in North Alabama first downs. 1st and goal from the 2. Milwee hanging on to it and not going very far. Run down by Mike Mosley, the defensive end.
Oh, and that's just not a good read by Milwee on the zone read. Had he given it to McClendon, he's going to go. I mean, watch it. He's looking at the backside end, and I mean that's a give read all the way, and yet he pulls it. And McClendon, you saw him, his reaction. He wanted the football.
2nd and goal. McClendon, the tailback. He gets it. Goes up the right side, close to the goal line, but marked just short. Yes, no touchdown.
Oh, that was close. McClendon, very impressive, running through the tall trees in there. Here's a look at him. Look at him. He's firing up in here. He makes contact, but look at the power. And he pushes it back there, and you see the ball right down there. Does finally get to the end zone, but I think it was a good call. His knee was down before he extended it out. And they're going to look look at that upstairs, I bet.
There is replay here in the semifinal.
Previous play is being reviewed.
My old buddy Verl Sell from the Big Ten Conference is up in the replay booth for us today, working with Mitch Wilkins and Rob Pavlis from DV Sport. And you see, it looks like the knee's down there. You can't really get a look at the ball from that angle. But here's the look that we had earlier, and McClendon just relentless with the push and the power. And boy, I think he was down. I think they made the right call on the field, and I don't think Burl will overturn this one. And Burl and I are we're on the same wavelength. He doesn't get many wrong.
You, on the other hand.
Well, that's a different story.
Mark Hudspeth and Mel Churchma, the respective head coaches, a lot of respect for each other. Two of the big name programs in Division II football. Northwest Missouri State, last winning a national championship in 1999. North Alabama won 3 in a row, its last one coming in 1995. Mark Hudspeth been battling to get back there. He has not been there the whole time.
Replay has confirmed the call on the field.
In his 7th season, and a good job by your buddy Verl Sell. Got it right yet again. Marked just short of the goal line. Brings up 3rd and goal, inches away.
And I would give it to McClendon again. He seems to have it in his mind that he's going to score.
Leads him already with 16 rushing touchdowns this season. He's the tailback. McClendon gets it and gets into the end zone for the touchdown. North Alabama on the scoreboard.
Coach Hud can relax a little bit, not a whole lot, but hey, they got the wind to their back and then they drove it right down the field. So that's got to be a positive sign. And you know, I said earlier, Pam, how many touchdowns are you going to get in your possessions with the win? Right now, North Alabama 1 for 1. Northwest 2 for 4. We'll see what happens down this quarter.
All the scores coming on this side of the field. Tom Schneider, the talented transfer from Cal Berkeley, with the extra point. So North Alabama got the wind at its back and drove for its first score of the game, capping it off with Mike McClendon's 17th rushing touchdown of the season. And we invite you to help us beat cancer. To donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research, call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. Log on to www.jimmyv.org. 100% of every donation goes directly to cancer research. It is a terrific cause, and ESPN very proud to be a part of it. We've got ourselves a ball game. North Alabama's turn to have the ball blow off the tee.
All right.
Wind whipping from left to right in your television screen at the backs of the Lions, who have just got on the scoreboard. Mike McClendon with a 1-yard touchdown run to cap off their first scoring drive of the game.
The Bearcats did not help themselves with all the penalties on that drive.
3 North Alabama first downs today, coming as a direct result of the penalties. Tom Schneider kicking it off, and that one is taken right at the lip of the goal line by Sheldon Cook. Cook taken down around the 22-yard line by Santana Suggs, who has been active both in the defensive backfield and on special teams. Here's our Coke Zero game track. LaRon Council, 1,500 yards on the season, has 45 rush yards today and has scored his 32nd rushing touchdown of the year. And it's no coincidence that you're seeing zeros in the second quarter for both teams. Blake Bowles is in now for the first time as a quarterback for Northwest Missouri. They do have a 2-quarterback system. He is more of a running threat, but they also like his arm. Shovels it to Kendall Wright, and the wide receiver picks up about 3 yards. Here's an update from Wendy Nix.
Man, thank you very much. The USC Trojans trying to play their way into the Rose Bowl, facing UCLA. They were trailing by a touchdown, but Joe McKnight took care of that. The 12-yard rush ties it up. It's 7-all USC-UCLA.
UCLA out to that surprising start. Thanks, Wendy. But USC coming back. Bowles takes the low snap and then goes down. A huge sack. Albert Russell converging for the stop.
And nobody blocked Russell. He came off the edge. And a miscommunication on the offensive line by Northwest Missouri State. But I like the fact that Coach Churchman put in Blake Bowles in this situation going against the wind. He's a different kind of quarterback. He's a huge running threat. You need that option against the wind.
He can run the option. That's the second North Alabama sack. 3rd and 18. And there's Bowles' running ability. Goes right up the middle. Stopped about 3 yards short of the original line of scrimmage by Chad Daniel. He picked up 5 yards. Here comes the punting unit. Michael Stadler's turn to punt into this win.
Well, we'll see if he ends up slamming his helmet on the ground after this one.
He had a 32-yarder with the wind, kicking in the first quarter. Here's his first second quarter punt. And North Alabama runs everybody up. There's no deep return man for the Lions. They're coming after it, figuring that the wind would make it a moot point. And that's a pretty good kick into the wind by Stadler. 32 yards into a fierce wind. Pretty good field position coming up from the 47 for the Lions.
ESPN's College Football, brought to you by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA.
That's our ABC crew down the road in Kansas City getting ready for the big championship game in KC. Missouri and Oklahoma getting things all set up, ready to roll. We got a championship semifinal right here. The winner of this game plays Minnesota Duluth next Saturday. Speaking of the Big 12 championship game, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game coming your way tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC HD. A win in this game could take Oklahoma into the big one, the BCS championship game. There's a reverse. Ed Gant, the wide receiver, in a whole lot of trouble. It escapes one would-be tackler, but Justin Welch, coming up from his corner spot, drops him for a 2-yard loss. Sean Paddock had a chance to drop him a couple of yards more downfield.
Paddock's just too smart of a football player to get fooled on that one. Stayed home, saw it coming, and ends up missing the tackle back there, but he slowed things down enough so that Welch could get there and make the play.
Junior from Bettendorf, Iowa, first team all-conference. 2nd and 12. Milwee with plenty of time, hits his receiver, and then the ball comes loose. Rocky Coleman couldn't hang on to the football.
I don't know if he ever had it.
Ball goes to Northwest Missouri. They're calling it a fumble, at least for now.
Evan Wilmus came in and ripped it out. It ends up recovered by Aldwin Foster Reddick, but I don't know that Rocky Coleman ever had possession. And that's what they're talking about down there right now. There he is. You see, he's never. Yeah, he did.
That's a fumble.
I think you're right. I think he did finally put that thing away.
Foster Reddick coming up with his second fumble recovery of the game. The Bearcats huddling up. They want to get to the line and get the snap off, but it will be reviewed. Every play is so important in this semifinal.
The previous play is under review.
And that one look we did have at it, Pam. You see, he was losing it a little bit, but then it looked like he put it away. But boy, in real time and real speed, I don't know. You know, it's a little different look when you. I think that thing from that angle it looked like it was coming out. Did not look like a catch from that angle. Now this was the angle where you think maybe he had it.
I think he put it away right there.
I think, you know,
For
even
a split second,
even though it's, and it's slow motion, almost stop action, look at it. But that's a very close call. But I think my initial response was when I saw that look, yes, he did have possession.
Evan Wilmus coming up with a terrific tackle to get his hands on the ball. Evan's dad is the campus physician. Wilmus is a townie. He went to Maryville High School.
He's a spoof hound.
He sure is. They are the spoof hounds. High school coach back in the 20s called them spoof hounds because he didn't like the way they were practicing, and the name has stuck, and it's the most original nickname we've come across.
Yeah, I'm going to stop over there and get me a spoof hound shirt on the way out of town. I promise you that.
Hounds played for the state championship, in Missouri, and came up short in the championship game this year. Joel Osborne is out there to play quarterback if indeed the Bearcats hang on to the football after a series of Blake Bowles being out there. They like to get him in there and give him one series relatively early in the game and then kind of go from there.
And Bowles really didn't have much of a chance in his series as a missed blocking assignment on second down put him on his back in a big sack and made it 3rd and 18. Here, one more look at it. You see there, he doesn't have it there. Now he's got it right there. I think you got to say he's got his hands on it there, and then it pops out. But that's slow motion, stop action. I don't know where Verl's going to go with this one.
And there has to be evidence to overturn the call on the field, which was that it was a fumble.
After review, the ruling on the field has been reversed. The receiver had an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down 12. Please reset the game clock to 9:24. 9:24 on the game clock.
Wow, that's a huge call and a big break for North Alabama and Rocky Coleman.
And I can't argue with Verl Sell, although they've got the ball spotted at the wrong place right now down on the field. It's supposed to be 3rd and 12. If that's an incompletion, they got to move that thing back.
Right now it's around a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, they got to move that thing back to here where the original line of scrimmage was, because Verl Sell ruled it as an incompletion.
And now they're getting their heads together to move the football.
And I think Verl Sell is justified making his call. You know, it's such a bang play. It's easy to say in a stop action that he had it. So I'm going to, you don't agree with me, Pam, but I'm going to backtrack and argue with myself and lose and win.
You keep doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think there was enough evidence to overturn it. He tucked it in on that one angle that we saw. But Mr. Sell is the expert. He has made his call, and they've marked the ball properly.
How about that?
3rd and 12. That was a huge reversal. They are 0 for 5 on 3rd downs, the purple-clad Lions. Milwee hits Coleman underneath. Coleman runs for the 1st down. So Rocky Coleman gets all the way down near the 20-yard line. Foster Rettig with the stop. Their first 3rd down conversion is a huge one for 33 yards.
The old Indiana screen. You see Coleman coming to the inside. He's got linemen released, running downfield. Samuel Hathorne with the big block clears the way, and Rocky Coleman gets it going down the field.
33 yards, the longest play today for either team. Gant, the receiver, again gets a carry. Picks up about a yard. Taken down by Ryan Jones. Jones and Justin Welch pressed into action playing corner today because Brandon Clayton, the captain, a terrific corner, has had all sorts of knee problems, and his knee's keeping him out of this game. And they are going to miss Clayton both for his leadership and for his play.
Well, I think Coach Hudspeth has to throw the ball down the field a little bit. Too much back and forth horizontal stuff. He's got to get this threat vertical.
With the wind at their backs. But Milwee hangs on to it. The quarterback taken down with authority just inside the 20 by Adam Vondrak. Let's go to Wendy Nix.
Pam, thank you. Back to Atlanta in the SEC championship game. The Gators trailing by a field goal. Tim Tebow, though, to Riley Cooper, just airs it out. 51 yards. That would set up a Florida field goal to tie it up 6:08 and counting before the half.
Thank you, Wendy. We anticipated a great game there, and obviously that's playing out. 3rd and 8 for North Alabama. Milwee with a lot of time has the pocket close on him. The ball is loose, but it was a pass that was tipped down Josh Lawrenson, and Milwee is shaken up. Milwee, a Harlan Hill finalist, one of 3 players in the running for Division II Player of the Year, got whomped.
And he's not a big guy. 5'10" they list him at. He's probably more like 5'9", and he got sandwiched there. Mondrick and Paddock each took a shot, little high-low action, and that'll force the Lions to try for a field goal.
Morensen knocking the pass down. Tom Schneider is a very good kicker at Cal Berkeley, and they mess up the snap. Schneider, the punter, has it, throws the pass, and it's incomplete.
Well, there should be a flag for an illegal forward pass.
And here comes a flag late.
Can't throw 2 forward passes in the same play, and that's what happened.
Schneider, the kicker, starting kicker for 3 years for the Bears.
And the holder, the punter, Will Batson, not having a good day.
Illegal forward pass on the offense. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
Let's take another look at this. The snap was perfect, just Batson couldn't handle it. Then he pitches it forward, and Schneider, out of desperation, did his best Garo Yepremian imitation. And that's a snap that hits you in the chest. You got to bring that one down. You could say maybe it was higher than you would like it, but it certainly isn't one you would expect to fumble around. And then there's the desperation right there from Schneider, who said he hot potatoed that one. I don't want it. You take it.
Schneider was a 3-year starter at Cal and is 4th in scoring in Cal history. Graduated from Cal, used up his eligibility, and came here to North Alabama. He wants the pro scouts to see him, would very much like to have a pro career. And that snap was not handled cleanly. North Alabama stuck at 7 points.
Did not take advantage of the wind in that drive.
Osborne back at quarterback for the Bearcats. Big hole on the right side. A run for the 1st down by LaRon Council. Council with a touchdown run today. Harrison Bryant made the stop, but it's a 1st down.
Boy, they were coming downhill hard on that one. Brent Gregg, the fullback, leading the way into the hole. They pulled the Pestock around from the other side, ran a little power at him. I would stick with that.
Especially with the wind squarely in their face and a 13-point lead. Osborne goes up top. That is batted down by Chris Johnson, the nose guard. Transfer from the University of Virginia. Let's transfer over to an update in Wendy Nix.
Pam, thank you very much. We go back to USC, UCLA. USC trying to make it to the Rose Bowl. Mark Sanchez, Damian Williams. Where's the Bruins defense? Apparently nowhere close. 14-7 Trojans over the Bruins.
USC been so terrific defensively this year, now with the 7-point lead over UCLA. We're approaching 7 minutes left to go in the 1st half. This is a Division II semifinal game. Northwest Missouri State with a 13-point lead, and the football, LaRon Council taking a couple of guys with him, close to another 1st down. David Raymond coming in, but boy, Grant Gregg, the fullback, had another good block for the Bearcats.
Yeah, he just ran that power again, and I would invoke the 5-yard rule here, where you run a play and you get more than 5 yards, go ahead and run it again. They got 10 yards the first time they ran it. They got 9 yards that time they ran it, and I'm only looking for 5.
So they're bettering that. 3 tight ends now in on 3rd and 1. Council got to get it, gets it, and gets the 1st down. Down to the 41-yard line. Chris Johnson making another stop. Johnson, we mentioned, went to the University of Virginia and then transferred over. His coaches say he's got a lot of talent, but they want to see him play hard on every play.
Coach Churchma, he signals the plays in, but he lets Adam Dorrell make the calls. And they work very good together. Just the first year, Coach Dorrell's calling the plays. And Coach Churchman says, I know if I signal them in, or signal them in, then I can't be mad at anybody else for messing it up.
Dorrell played here for Churchman at Northwest Missouri. Council taken down at the 45-yard line, picked up 4. Bobby Brooks, a 3-year starter who went to Hoover High School, famed Hoover High School in Alabama, made the stop.
This is exactly what Northwest needs to be doing here. Grinding it out on the ground into the wind. Not only are they chewing up yards and making a physical presence, they're eating up the clock as well.
2nd and 6. Right back to Council. Picked up a couple of yards. Dominique Pittman made the stop, a converted tight end for North Alabama.
That North Alabama defensive line will do all kinds of stunts on you. They're very quick. They're a little undersized, so they take advantage of their good attributes, that quickness and speed. And that time, Pittman just looped around behind his defensive tackle, who was getting up the field, and he showed up right in the hole.
3rd and 4. They're 3 for 7 in this situation. Osborne dancing around in the pocket. His tight end made the catch short of the first down. Josh Gannon. Chad Daniel converged on him as soon as the ball hit his hands.
Converge is a polite way of putting it. He collided on him. And he saw it coming and took the proper angle, and then watch this hit. Bam! Immediate and violent. I like those kinds.
Daniel, the sophomore from Sipsey, Alabama. Michael Stadler punting one that rolls dead around the 17-yard line. Another pretty good punt against the wind. 31 yards, not good under regular conditions, but this is not a regular win.
Hey,
Join hosts Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Lou Holtz, and Mark May. They review each of the 34 bowl games, the matchups, the winners, and the losers. The bowl selection special on ESPN. Check it out tomorrow, 8 Eastern Time, 7 Central. There's a new bowl game in Washington, D.C. Navy's going to play in it. They were impressive today against Army.
I love those Army camo unis, though.
Didn't work, though, huh? They got 0 points with the camo. Northwest Missouri with a 20-7 lead. North Alabama with a completion. Rocky Coleman catching it. Let's go back to Wendy Nix.
Ma'am, thank you. We showed you that Tim Tebow to Riley Cooper 51-yard connection. Well, this time they'll get 7 points. They hook up for 5. And Florida now on top, 17-10.
Thank you, Wendy. Wendy keeping us up to date on all the championship games going on today. This is a semifinal in the Division II National Championship playoff. A.J. Milwee at quarterback for North Alabama. Running. Had to pull it down and steps out of bounds around the 26-yard line. Willie Horn helped him out of bounds. Honorable mention all-conference linebacker and Joe Horn's little brother. Joe Horn, the NFL receiver for the Falcons and the Saints.
Willie Horn had that big play earlier, forcing the fumble that led to a Bearcat touchdown. This one a little shy of the first down, so it's going to be 3rd down and 1 here for the Lions, and a key drive for them.
They're only 1 for 7 on 3rd down in the game. And on 3rd and short, Milwee looking to pass, runs for the first down, and slides around the 31-yard line.
What a great ball fake, though. He got Vondrack about 2 feet up in the air, and that allowed him to run around him and then slide for the first. Here he is. Watch this ball fake. Here comes Vondrack. Got him up in the air, zipped around him, and moved the chains.
Milwee on the go again. Throws that one well out of bounds. He was pressured that time by Vondrak, who's probably not too thrilled that he was made an example of on the fake.
I bet you won't see him jumping up in the air again.
Milwee, the transfer from Alabama, 33-4 as a starter. As you get a good look at Vondrak. This North Alabama defense coming in with all of the kudos, plus 31 in the turnover margin. And Northwest Missouri State trying to put the clamps the other way. Pass complete to the 38-yard line. Bobby Williams stopped by Vondrak, who is all over the field. First catch of the day for Williams, a senior from Jacksonville, Florida.
That's that same inside screen that we saw work previously to Rocky Coleman. That's really been the best play for the Lions offense so far today, but they've yet to throw it down the field. I think they have to test these corners and take a shot at some point down the field. Maybe not here on 3rd and 3, but at some point you got to get them back off the line of scrimmage. You see how all these defenders are up on the line.
Especially with the wind at their back, they have not taken advantage of that. Milwee has everybody covered downfield, and a receiver comes back to try to help him out, Justman Rivers, but it falls incomplete. Chris LaFleur on the coverage.
Talking about coverage, outstanding coverage by the secondary for Northwest. I mean, where do you throw the football? There's really nowhere to go with it. Milwee is able to run around and buy a little time, but nobody's getting free. We're not seeing any separation from these receivers right now, which is a little surprising to me. Coming in, I thought athletically the Lions had maybe a little bit of an advantage there.
Will Baston finally gets to kick with the win, and the snap was short, and another mistake by North Alabama gives the ball to Northwest Missouri in good field position, as that snap was at least a two-hopper going into Baston's hands. He finally had an opportunity to kick with the wind, and he couldn't even do it.
The long snapper, Nathan Flanagan, and he just one-hops it. And Batson is having a nightmare. That's his second pass today. I mean, at least he completed that one, I suppose, to Lidarius Friend. But Friend didn't have enough friends around him to give him enough room for a first down.
Another good field position start for Northwest Missouri. LaRon Council spinning down to the 34-yard line, picked up 4 on first down.
And when I was watching game tape to prepare for this game, I was really impressed with North Alabama's special teams. They did a lot of good things last week. Blocked a punt, executed a fake punt, and yet today, the special teams have really hurt them.
They have 6 blocked punts this season, 2 of them for touchdowns, but have been stung on teams today. Osborne over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Kendall Wright, the leading receiver on this Bearcat football team.
I really think it's going to be on this North Alabama defense to make a play and get them back into the game. That's what they've done all year. You know, we talked about the turnovers, the takeaways, 32 interceptions, 12 fumble recoveries on the season. Haven't come up with anything yet today, but that's what they're going to need. That's the one that got them here.
3rd and 6 for the Bearcats. Osborne over the middle, dropped. Kendall Wright had a big opportunity to bring that one in and was unable to do so.
I don't believe he would have got the first down anyway, but here he is, a little China route coming underneath. Linebacker sitting, and that's what he did. He had an eye. He took a peek up the field looking for who was going to tattoo him, and it was Harrison Bryant, number 24, waiting with the ink in the needle.
Bowles comes in. They're going for it on 4th and 6.
Mike
Bowles.
Pick. Yeah, he's backing up. He's going to kick.
He has punted once this season, now make it twice, and it's a good one. Takes a little bit of a roll back towards the 10-yard line. So Bowles, who is their better running quarterback, comes in and gets the kickoff, and the punt goes down to the 10. Mel Churchma trying to get back to the national championship game for the 4th consecutive year. And whoever comes out of this semifinal game will take on the Fighting Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth. A very impressive victory on the road at California, PA. That's Western Pennsylvania. 1 week after they took care of Grand Valley State on the road.
Yeah, an impressive run by Minnesota Duluth.
In their first championship game, we will be there next week. North Alabama's home stadium. They play in Florence, Alabama, and they desperately want to get back to play in that game for the first time since 1995. Milwee going upfield, and it's picked off. Miles Burnside, the townie from right here in Maryville, taking it down close to the goal line. The defensive MVP in the conference picks it off. His 6th of the season.
And that is a rare mistake that you will see by A.J. Milwee. There is a flag down at the end, but I don't think it's going to affect the fact that Burnside comes up with the big play.
Yeah, Milwee does not throw a lot of picks. 27 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions coming into this game.
And he usually makes such great decisions, but I think he's pressing. Here's Burnside's right here. Here's going to be your deep route down the sideline.
Play, personal foul, number 60. Half the distance, ball will be placed on the 1/2 yard line. First down.
A little frustration penalty from Sam Hathorn. But you saw that, I mean, that's a too deep coverage when they obviously are playing against that. So to throw a ball up along the sideline like that when you know a safety's lurking out there, that's just a mental error from A.J. Milwee trying to press, trying to do too much, and it's going to cost his football team. Well, maybe not. I mean, they haven't scored yet, but it certainly looks pretty dire for the Lions.
Timeout, North Alabama.
Remember,
Miles Burnside playing his high school football at Maryville, coming up with his 11th career interception. And he stayed after practice yesterday, even though it was cold as all get out, and was catching some passes from the quarterback Osborne to improve his hands, and he showed good hands on that pick.
And that's leadership, Pam. And then Miles Burnside, Coach Churchman told us he's not a real vocal guy, but I think vocal leadership's a little overrated. And people see what you do, and that speaks a lot louder than what you say. And for him and the quarterback Osborne to stay out late when it's cold and it's the end of the year and getting that work in, that's leadership.
Council, second touchdown of the game, 33rd on the ground this season. Burnside's interception leading directly to the Northwest Missouri State touchdown, and that's a big one. North Alabama finally taking a shot downfield, but throwing into double coverage. Milwee was picked off, and the result is 7 points, or at least 6 points, the other way.
I didn't think we were going to see a touchdown in that end zone today, and if we did, I figured it'd be on a turnover situation, and that's what Burnside's provided.
Only had to punch it in from inside the 1. Freevert adds the extra point. Mel Churchman's team with a healthy 27-7 lead.
This touchdown is just LC taking it up, running behind that offensive line, finding a little gap in there to spin into, and he is no stranger to the end zone. That's number 33 on the year. And it's all, and you know, this is kind of a flip-flop deal coming in. North Alabama, that was their card, their whole card, baby. They would take it away from you. North Missouri State, they played that card a little bit quicker than the Lions got to it. Here, let's take a look at this first one. The big linebacker, Willie Horn, forces the fumble. Foster Reddick picks it up. And then this last one, the ill-fated throw from A.J. Milwee, picked off by the Defensive Conference Player of the Year in the MIAA, Miles Burnside.
14 points coming off turnovers for Northwest Missouri State. North Alabama has forced a turnover in 32 straight games. Forced at least 3 turnovers in 11 of 13 games this season alone. So far, 0.
But they still have that in them, and that's why this one isn't over. They have that ability.
First kickoff into the wind today. It's knocked down.
Better get on it.
Yep, live ball, but North Alabama falls on it on the 31. That is a wicked wind. It's almost like a big old giant gets up there somehow and just smacks the ball down.
Yeah, I mean, he blasted this kick pretty good, did Freevert, but look at that thing. It just isn't going anywhere once it gets into that wind. And we've seen backspin on it every time just because of the way the wind changes the spin of the ball.
North Alabama with the football. The wind at their backs, down by 20. Milwee, big trouble, gets away from it, and again slides to avoid big contact. No timeouts left for North Alabama. Plus 31. That is just remarkable and leading the nation, as you might expect in that category, but no turnovers game today. The -2 today. Bobby Williams gets the catch and gets the first down. Ryan Jones gets him.
They tried that inside, that Indiana screen again, and the Bearcats have finally made an adjustment to take that one away. And because of the escapability of Milwee, he was still able to get something out of it. But they're going to have to find another play that works for them, because really that's the only thing that they've had a lot of success with.
Milwee with the second most rushing attempts on the season for his team. Takes off again. Kills the clock. Remember, they have no timeouts. Uramiki helping him out of bounds. And there are some of the Hardy folks watching this game. There's Elaine Brom,
She is a trooper, I'll tell you that.
One of our camera people who was quite under the weather yesterday. She's tough. Got no sleep last night. Got some, hydrated well, and she's out there freezing cold.
She is tougher than I am.
Oh, Lordy.
Which isn't saying a lot, but...
Yeah, we were quite happy to see that we were in an enclosed booth this week. Second down, 15 seconds left to go in the half. Milwee finally throws it out of bounds. Lost about 7 or 8 seconds running around there. Sean Paddock helping him make up his mind to throw it out of bounds.
This Bearcat defense is playing outstanding today. And they've had that ability to rise up. And this is a unit that lost a lot of players from last year's finalist in Division II. And yet they just seem to reload around here. And you got to give a lot of credit to Scott Bostwick, the defensive coordinator, who got quite animated and excited when we spoke with him yesterday about his kids.
He says they'll never win the pregame, meaning they're not going to look like the best team out there. He conceded that North Alabama is going to look like the better team. There's the coach. Very easy to spot in his red hat. We met his daughter Leah earlier today, who wants to get into the business, the TV business, and he's done a heck of a job with this defense, and he is an enthusiastic guy.
Yeah, and we may be heading over to his house after the game. Big party going on. He said, win, lose, or draw, he will have refreshments, and there'll be a lot of folks. And it's just a little bit away from here, so we might have to crash that one.
Encroachment. Defense calls the tackle to move. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And his home is within walking distance. Coach Bostwick says he has a bunch of lunchbox kids, hard workers, come out and play tough football, and they have looked terrific in this first half.
They've got some talent too. Coaches, I love it when they soft sell their kids a little bit. And they talk about the hard work they do, because that's the key. That gets them over the hump.
3rd and 3 for Milwee and North Alabama. Taking the shot downfield, overthrown. Burnside was the closest guy to the ball intended for Ed Gant. 2 seconds left to go.
And Burnside was lining up a knockout punch, and then he saw he could have picked the ball off if had he been looking for the football. But I think he wanted to hit somebody more than he wanted an interception.
Burnside's also a terrific academic story, about a 3.9 GPA. Stuck a couple of B's in there. How disappointing. But a great student athlete. playing in his hometown. A lot of people growing up around here, they tell us they're not Missouri or Kansas fans. They're Northwest fans.
Yeah, they grow up wanting to be Bearcats around here, and why not?
Should be the last play of the half. Milwee takes a hit, goes down at the 49-yard line of the Bearcats. Adam Vondrak, Sean Paddock in on the tackle. This has been a terrific first half for Northwest Missouri State. The Bearcats trying to get back to their 4th straight national championship game. And they will face, the winner of this game plays Minnesota Duluth next week in Florence. A lot of work for North Alabama to do in the second half. They are trailing 27-7 as we go to the studio. Our halftime report with Wendy Nix and Jesse Palmer. Welcome back to the NCAA Division II Football Championship semifinal presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. After one half of play, North Alabama trails Northwest Missouri State 27-7. The winner of this team advancing on to the championship game next week. We welcome you to Jimmy V Week on ESPN. We continue our commitment to the V Foundation for Cancer Research in tribute to Jim Valvano, as well as his dream to defeat cancer. This is the semifinal. We know who's going to play next week. Minnesota Duluth with an impressive win on the road at snowy California, Pennsylvania today. So the Bulldogs in their first ever championship game. Who will they play? Well, Saturday 1 Eastern time on ESPN2. Right now it's looking squarely like it will be Northwest Missouri State. They are up 27-7. Pam Ward along with Ray Bentley. And coming into this game, it was North Alabama who were the guys who we're used to seeing take the ball away. But that hasn't happened.
No, in fact, Northwest has taken it away a couple of times and gotten 14 points off of those. So for North Alabama to get back into this one, I think they really need to get that going. That's been part of their deal all year. They got to strip it, they got to rip it, they got to tip it, they got to find a way, Pam, to get the football and take it away from the Bearcats and then make points off of that.
They have had some miscues, losing a fumble. They've also had a bad snap on a kick and a punt. So this North Alabama team, those numbers you see are their rankings in the last regular season poll. North Alabama at number 5, Northwest Missouri State at number 3. And North Alabama kicking off into the wind, or with wind at their back actually. It is very cold here now that the sun has gone down, getting colder. And a lot of folks who were here for the first half, I think are going to go home and watch us on TV in the second half. We are underway. Not at all. Second half underway. Ball taken by Northwest Missouri State's Sheldon Cook. And Cook goes up the right side. The kicker throws a shoulder at him. That was Tom Schneider throwing a shoulder, but Sheldon Cook with a terrific run back. And once again, Northwest Missouri State starts on the other side of the field. That was a 47-yard return.
And this is really helpful when you're going into that wind. And this is really all about Cook's speed and then his ability to accelerate once he saw a little bit of open space. Had a couple nice blocks, but then he did it on his own at the end.
Averaging about 18 yards per kick return this season. Broke that one for 47 yards. So they start on the 45 of North Alabama. Star running back LaRon Council, who has scored 2 rushing touchdowns today to bring his season total up to 33. Gets another carry.
Boy, is he getting some blocks from his fullback, and that's what Adam Dorrell told us, the offensive coordinator. He says, man, Brant Gregg, we haven't used him a lot in the playoffs so far because of the different opponents and the game plans, but they've used him today, and he's been a battering ram.
They say he's crafty, can do a lot of things, and they throw it to him. Gregg right out of the backfield comes up.
That's a little reward for the fullback.
That's only his second catch of the season. First half stats, Ray. Field position is huge.
Well, that and then the points with the wind, 20-7 in regards to that, and the starting spot Look at this. Starting at the opponent's 40. If you can start your drives in their territory, you're going to score more often than not, and that's what the Bearcats have done.
They started this possession on the 45 of North Alabama. Joel Osborne, the talented quarterback, flicks it out to his tight end, Josh Gannon, who's had a couple of big catches today. He gets the first down with that reception.
Watching film, getting ready for this game, the thing that really impressed me is you see the tight end crossing here and getting knocked off his path a little bit and then getting popped at the end. But the thing that impressed me was the frenzy that the Lions defense played with. Well, I haven't seen them frenzied yet today. I've seen a few flashes of it, but they're not flying around with their hair on fire, turning it loose like I saw on tape and like they did last week.
Best defense in their conference right down the sideline. Ron Council tried to stay in bounds. Flag is down.
Spectator there on the sidelines got waylaid pretty good.
Flag on the play.
You gotta have your head on a swivel standing over there. He's up laughing about it now. You live to tell.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 1 in the defense, half the distance, first down.
Anton Bowen with the transgression.
You see it just tight roping across, and he was obviously out of bounds, was Council, and Bowen came in and tried to maybe just get a little frustration out. And that's a good yard and a half out of bounds. That's just not smart. And the guy, the spectator that got upended, didn't appreciate it much either.
Carl Morgan, the defensive coordinator for North Alabama, needs a stop out of his guys. Council gets the carry on first down and picks up about a yard or so. North Alabama's defense coming in first in their conference, the Gulf South Conference, first in scoring defense and first in the nation in turnovers, plus 31 coming into the game. They have gotten 0 turnovers away today. Carl Morgan, entertaining talking to him. His plus 72 turnovers margin in his 52 games as an assistant coach.
That's just a mind-boggling number. I think he's a rising star.
Oh, good job by Osborne to fall on the football, retaining possession as it goes all the way back to the 20-yard line.
Not a bad snap. Osborne just didn't secure it. I mean, it's going to be up a little bit high, but that's right in the hands. I think he took his eyes off of it as he was getting ready to run that zone read play with Council.
3rd and long.
He looked like Nate Davis from Ball State last night. in that MAC championship game.
How about that? Congratulations to Buffalo and Turner Gill. How about that?
Amazing.
Terrible football program. Turner Gill came in and turned it around quickly. 3rd and 18 for Northwest. Osborne stepping up out of the pocket, trying to run for the first down, and then he gives it to Council at the last second, and Council scores! Osborne flicked the football away as he was being tackled, and the initial signal was a touchdown, and now it's upheld.
That was a touchdown. And that was an amazing play by Joel Osborne, a former point guard in basketball. And he knows how to dish it out. Here he is, wending his way down the field, gets hit, has that peripheral vision, sees this guy Council, flips it out to him, and then Council with the strength gets it into the end zone. These guys are fun to watch.
Freevert in for the extra point. That was dangerously close to being a forward lateral. Freevert with the extra point. You have to wonder about a calculated risk for Osborne, because if that is recovered by the other guys, you're throwing away points, but everything's going Northwest way.
And he's just one of those guys who has that ability. He just gets it done, and he got it done again. And Northwest Missouri State extends their lead 34-7.
The NCAA Division II Football Championship concludes on ESPN2 HD next Saturday at 1 Eastern Time for a preview of every NCAA National Championship, including the 2008 Division II title game. Go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. And this young man, A.J. Milwee, the quarterback for North Alabama, one of 3 finalists for the Harlan Hill Trophy, the Division II Player of the Year, has a huge mountain to climb if he wants to play in that championship game next week. Freevert's kick, fielded at the 17. Flag is down as Charles McClain gets up close to the 35-yard line and, in fact, surpasses it, but we'll check out the penalty. Northwest Missouri State up 34-7, 3 touchdown runs for Council.
During the return, holding, number 14 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Let's take a look now at today's Home Depot coaching adjustment. This happened in the first half. Charles McClain back to return the punt. With going into the wind, they decide to go for the block. So he comes up, gets in a position to go for the block. Nobody back to return it. They don't expect much of a kick anyway. They get very close to blocking it, and the punt is short. Regardless, a nice adjustment. The Home Depot coaching adjustment by the Lions to garner good field position on that special teams play.
But the Lions, coached by Mark Hudspeth, Coach Hud as they call him, down 34-7. And when his teams under Coach Hudspeth are tied or behind at the half, they have only won 47% of those games, as opposed to winning 93% of the games in which they lead at the half. Remember, they were down 20 at the break and already have given up a touchdown.
This is a team, though, Pam, with an explosive offense, averaging 43.9 points per game on the year. So they can get it going, but they haven't gotten it going yet today. A lot of that is Milwee has just not gotten comfortable back there. He's been running for his life most of the day. He's
11 for 22 through the air. McClendon, the tailback, gets it up to the 25-yard line, so he picked up 5 yards. They are going from left to right, which means the wind, which has been wicked all afternoon as we head into night, the wind is at their back.
And if they're going to mount any kind of comeback, they have to do it in this third quarter. They've got to take a chunk away out of that lead right now.
Looking downfield, connects for the first down. Bobby Williams with another catch down to the 43-yard line. Miles Burnsides, who has an interception today, made the stop.
I believe that's the first completion over the middle for A.J. Milwee today. And that's because number 15, Miles Burnsides, patrols the middle. And you want to get away from him if you can.
With another handoff, bounces it to the outside, shows some speed, and is forced out of bounds by Ryan Jones. McClendon, the senior from Mississippi, first year playing at North Alabama, has been around a little bit, has played at Pearl River Community College and also at Nicholls State, and now has landed at North Alabama.
Yeah, that's one of the things Coach Hud told us. He needs D1 athletes, even though it's in Division II, if you're going to compete for national championships.
2nd and 6. Little play action. Milwee goes down. Behind the line of scrimmage, the quarterback Milwee taken down. First sack of the day for Northwest Missouri. Credit Shane Shade with it.
And we talked about how you get that talent. Where do you get guys from? And here's a nice little list for North Alabama and some of the guys that they gleaned from Division I programs for whatever reason. I mean, every guy has a story, but they wanted to come and play in a Division II program that competes at a high level, competes for national championships, and they ended up with the Lions.
Milwee, the Alabama transfer, completes it to McClain, who is stopped about 4 yards short of the first down by Ike Uramiki. And Milwee left Alabama because there was another quarterback there.
There was a guy there that plays pretty good.
John Parker Wilson, both coming in as freshmen at the same time. So Milwee took his act to North Alabama. They're down 27 on 4th and 4, wind at their back. The Lions are going for it.
I think you have to.
Milwee completes it. Now they're saying incomplete. Bobby Williams thought he had the ball as he slid underneath it, but the call on the field is incomplete.
Boy, that was a close one. We'll take another look at this one. Milwee just a little bit low with the pass. And you see it go right there, and it does get on the ground. Excellent call. Bobby Williams tried to get that thing, his hands underneath it, but it slid through his hands. Definitely a trap. Nice call by the official right on the spot.
Terrific job on the field. Milwee, one of the finalists for National Player of the Year in Division II, now 13 for 25 through the air with 89 yards and 1 interception.
The officials are over there discussing it, and the chains haven't moved yet. And this might be a challenge coming from Coach Hudd. You can challenge one during the course of the game. And he might, I think he's thought better of it, and he's not going to do it. I think he was inquiring about it.
Finally, they're ready to snap the football. Northwest Missouri State with the ball and a 27-point lead. Well, Ron Council, who has 3 touchdown runs today, makes a couple of guys miss, closing in on 100 yards. And, in fact, is over 100 yards with that carry. LaRon Council, the junior from Kansas City, Missouri, 21 carries for 105 yards now and 3 touchdowns, has just been spectacular.
He really has, not only just this afternoon, but throughout the entire season.
Number 2 in Division II in scoring, coming in at 15 points per game. He's got 18 today with his 3 touchdowns. Give it right back to your horse. And he goes to the 40. Michael Johnson, the middle linebacker, making the stop. And this is when you're Northwest Missouri. Here's a guy who's now well over 1,600 yards on the season. You have yourself a big lead. Give it to number 27 a few times, huh?
Yeah, jump on that back and ride. And that's a big back to jump on. And LaRon Council, a great story. He came from humble beginnings, inner city kid that had a lot of family trouble, but yet it always has that smile on his face.
3rd and 1. Right back to Council. First down, Bearcats. His coach is so impressed with LaRon's attitude, as he came a little bit, about an hour and a half or so away from Kansas City to play his college football. This is the Division II national semifinal between Northwest Missouri State and North Alabama. North Alabama has 3 national championships. Northwest Missouri State has a couple. Not since 1999 has Mel Churchman won a title, and they have been to 3 straight championship games, losing all 3 by a grand total of 12 points. And they are trying to get back there for the 4th straight year. They're sitting pretty, thanks in part to LaRon Council, who continues to work the middle of the field.
Let's take a look at some of these plays from LaRon Council. Got himself into the end zone on that one. There's another score for him in the most recent one. A little pitch back, a little impromptu action as Osborne, before he goes down, flips it off to Council, and LC, as they call him, 3 trips to the promised land so far today.
He had 523 yards in his first 2 years on this football team. He was playing behind Xavier Oman, who's now in the NFL, but he had some injuries. He's fought through that. And his first year as a feature back has been A-OK. First down run again for LaRon, who is tackled by Harrison Bryant.
The thing I like about his style, Pam, is he's what I call a downhill, but he's also a side hopper. He has tremendous balance, and he's able to move quickly laterally without really losing a step in terms of going forward down the field. And then he has the great ability at the end of runs to know when it's over, and then he'll turn a 2-yard run into 4 or 5. He'll turn a 7 into a 9 or a 10 just because he's got that great instinct at the end.
5'10", 210-pounder. Gives his team another first down, gets the ball again right up the middle to the 20. Picks up about 6 more. Bobby Brooks with the stop. Tonight at 8 Eastern, that's 7 Central Time on ABC. The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Chase Daniel and Missouri trying to knock off Sam Bradford and number 2 Oklahoma. A win in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Oklahoma could go into that championship game for the BCS. Catch it tonight. 8 Eastern, 7 Central on ABC. Playing that one in Kansas City. Not too far away from here.
Yeah, if we hustle out of here, we might even get to go see some of that.
Yeah, we will catch that. We hope, at the rate this game is going,
we don't get
we'll be finished by then. Council, left side, first down. Harrison Bryant with another stop, but Northwest Missouri going in to the teeth of that vicious wind. What a treasure for Mel Churchman to have Council and this offensive line.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with that next comment, the offensive line. Yes, they are knocking people off the ball right now. Reed Kirby, Tom Pestock, Matt Nelson, Jeremy Davis, and Jason Wiseman. And then throw them tight ends in there as well. Gannon and Applegate. They're doing an excellent job of blocking and creating a new line of scrimmage.
Sheldon Cook spells Council in the backfield. Right up the middle, the fullback Brant Gregg gets a carry for the Bearcats.
And Northwest has an advantage in size against this North Alabama defense across the front, and that's something that when we talked to Coach Adam Dorrell, he thought he could take advantage of, pounding them up the middle and trying to get the defensive ends to run wide outside and then hammer it upside inside when you got that size advantage. You see almost a 30-pound advantage per man across the middle.
Cook still in the backfield. Northwest Missouri, 7 first downs this quarter. Cook with the pitch. Taken down at the 5-yard line. So 7 first downs this quarter for the Bearcats. North Alabama has 8 for the entire game.
There's Coach Dorrell.
He's a
right
townie.
Side. He's a townie. Played here for Coach Churchman. In fact, his first semester here, there was a different coach, and then his second semester, he said, Coach Churchman came in, he said, I talked to him, he put a spell on me. He said, it was like meeting Santa Claus, which I got a kick out of. But he said he just has the ability, does Coach Churchman, to reach inside of you and get everything out of you and just squeeze everything you've got and get it out and put it into the program.
First time I've heard a coach refer to another as a Santa Claus figure. Council back in. All he does is score touchdowns and run for a lot of yards. His 4th touchdown of the game. An incredible drive for the Bearcats, keeping it on the ground, and Mel Churchman's team out to a 47 lead.
Dane Wardenberg and Jeremy Davis got around the edge and led the way, and they have been blocking people. And speaking of Mr. Santa Claus,
a big Mel Churchman fan, I'm sure, is sitting there. Everybody's loving the hometown team.
It must feel like Christmas here for the Bearcats.
Freevert with another extra point. LaRon Council, 4 rushing touchdowns today, 35 on the season. The Bearcats running away from the Lions.
ESPN's College Football, brought to you by Subway. Try a full-size and flavor-packed Subway flatbread sandwich. Subway, eat fresh. And Verizon Wireless.
Northwest Missouri State in August of '87 became the first public university in this country to implement a campus computing system available to all the students and the faculty. All these young kids don't know what it's like to grow up without a computer and a laptop at their disposal. And a lot of folks, Northwest Missouri State fans, feeling good about a 41-7 lead. They've scored 2 touchdowns in this quarter. LaRon Council 4 rushing touchdowns today. And they are getting ever closer to another trip to Florence, Alabama.
And LaRon Council has taken the wind not only out of the sails of the Lions, but out of the ball game. Going into the wind, it doesn't matter.
Charles McClain fields the kick. Takes a hard hit just past the 35-yard line. Kevin Oconta coming up with the hit. North Alabama has a lot of work to do in a short period of time. Joint hosts Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Lou Holtz, and Mark May. They'll review each of the 34 bowl games coming up on the Bowl Selection Special on ESPN tomorrow night at 8 Eastern Time. None of those guys, we think, is Reese or Herbie or Lou or Mark.
Oh, that's Lee Corso right there, though.
You think that's Lee? You think he would have picked the right team?
I think he might have.
Good job by the mascots. They have props. They've made their own anchor desk. That's great stuff. Oh, boy. A.J. Milwee might be feeling like he wants to put some sort of a hiding headgear on his head. Mike Mosley and Josh Lawrenson going right after him. This Northwest defense has been all over him today.
That's the 4th time A.J. Milwee has had to throw it just out of bounds with nothing better to do with the football due to not only the coverage but the pressure from the Northwest defense.
Milwee with just about every North Alabama passing record under his belt on his resume and has really struggled today. Has to escape and slides down around the 42-yard line, pursued by big number 74, Mo Dampier, the transfer from Decatur, Illinois. And you can find Mo. You don't need to know he's number 74. You can find him.
No, and I tell you what, Mo is hustling on this one. There he is. And watch him work on this play. He's going to get himself up the field a little bit, comes back, and dive, Mo, dive for him. He's a big man now.
Listed at 375. What do you think, Ray?
I think that he's probably a biscuit or two more than that.
Milwee calls the timeout on 3rd and 4. Dampier, Northwest Missouri, is his 3rd school, started his career at the University of Oklahoma and has ended up here, and he is the biggest Bearcat of them all.
Well, he broke his ankle and then spent some time trying to rehab, and that was really when he put on all the weight. And he came here and wanted to play football, and they say he's lost about 40, and they say he's got about another 40 or so to go before he can be really effective. But he's shown flashes, and he's got some quick feet for the big fella.
Showing some athleticism on that last play. Northwest Missouri State well on its way to playing in its 4th straight national championship game. And if so, they will take on Minnesota Duluth. The Bulldogs playing in their first ever championship game with a convincing win on the road today. And we will be there next Saturday, 1 Eastern Time, noon local on ESPN2 to crown a Division II champion. And they had that sign all ready to go. They're ready to go back to Florence. Every senior on this team, they're going to make it 4 for 4.
Yeah, and how about Coach Hudd? He's talked to us about that. As you see big old Mo getting ready to play again, but he said it really drives him crazy to go back to Florence and see the other teams getting police escorts around town to all the events and all that, knowing that his team has come so close.
After the timeout, Milwee running away from Big Mo. And they mark him just short, about a yard short of the first down. Mike Mosley chased Milwee out of bounds.
Well, Milwee, he almost got that by extending the ball out. Very close.
Did not get a favorable spot.
No, I don't believe he did. They got to go for it anyway on this 4th down now. I mean, everything is a 4-down territory, 4-down drive for him at this point.
Wind at their back. In the 4th quarter, it will be squarely in their face. Not a good thing, especially when you're trailing by a ton. McClendon, the tailback, faked to and then thrown to Brandon Pickett out of the backfield for the first down. Very well executed play. Pickett into Northwest territory.
Yeah, Pickett's the fullback on this, and this is a great short yardage play. He's going to run through there, and everybody comes up. The linebackers close down, and then there's nobody left to make a play as they run him off on the outside.
Bobby Williams with another catch, goes out of bounds, stops the clock. Shane Shea gets him out. 2:03 left to go in the third quarter. There's North Alabama not conceding anything, trying to make this momentous comeback and get back to play in the championship game. They won 3 in a row from 93 to 95 and have not played in the big game since. Shovel pass right in the middle to McClendon, who ran into one of his offensive linemen and went down.
This defensive line has been relentless getting after people today. Paddock's had a great day. Northway's made some plays. Tyler Roach, and you look at all the hurries and then the hits that Milway's taken. But we've seen him being forced out of the pocket numerous times, basically running for his life on the scramble situation.
Sacked a couple of times today. Now facing a 3rd and 9. Takes off and is not taken down right away. Great effort by Milway to get away from a couple of defenders. Justin Welch eventually took him down.
Little quarterback draw. Good timing by Milway. Has a good feel for it, and then he's a slippery one. I mean, Tyler Roach should have had him wrapped up, and Milway was able to get away and keep this one alive. Here we go, 4th and 1. If they have any thoughts of coming back, they got to score on this drive.
McClendon gets the first down and more. Finally stopped at the 21-yard line by Chad Kilgore, who is the first true freshman to play for Northwest Missouri in 4 years. They really believe in redshirting guys, but Kilgore with a lot of talent getting out there as a true freshman.
And Brandon Pickett, the fullback, came in there, and he's the one who cleared the way. Made a nice block on that play.
First down at the 21. Should be their last play of the third quarter. David McCants, the other tailback, taken out around the 15-yard line as a flag comes down.
I think the tight end tackled the man he was blocking.
There's Kilgore, true freshman from Orick, Missouri. Coaches say they expect him to be a really good football player. And again, the first true freshman to get into a game for the Bearcats in 4 years. Churchman has his system. You bring in the guys, and that's what he said about, like, Tom Pestock, his great left guard, said if he would have been as big now when he came in, there's no way they would have gotten him.
2 fouls on the play. Holding by the offense. 2nd foul downfield. Holding by the offense. That one's declined. 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
I think it's safe to say that it was holding by the offense.
No time left on the clock in the third quarter. Robert Dalton, the referee, I don't know what they're discussing. It's a hold against the offense.
Yeah, that was made abundantly clear. I think they're wondering about which one you're going to take, and obviously one was downfield, and that one was committed by Rocky Coleman, and then the other one, I believe, was Aldridge, the tight end, right at the line of scrimmage. So obviously that's the one you take because it's a spot foul. You mark it off from the spot. Can we get my mic into those guys? I can solve it for them right here.
So they're continuing to discuss.
And obviously have nowhere to go this evening.
Bubba's Barbecue.
Yeah.
After the game.
The holding on the 22-yard line is accepted. 10-yard penalty. First down. End of quarter.
Whew. Fourth quarter coming up after the holding penalty
by the offense.
Fourth quarter about to get underway, or at least we think so. It's 41-7 in favor of Northwest Missouri State. We had a holding penalty on the offense before we went to break, but the officials have not flipped the field.
I think they're saying that the quarter cannot end, so you'll have an untimed down here on an offensive penalty.
One untimed down, still in the third quarter.
There you have it.
An untimed down on an offensive penalty. Okay. Milwee going up top. Some pushing and shoving between Rocky Coleman and Chris LaFleur, and we think the third quarter is over.
I'm sure it is.
You sure?
I'm positive.
I don't know. Let's see. What do we got? All right, there we go. Third quarter has come to a close. Now they will flip sides of the field. Let's take a look at today's game track, brought to you by our friends at Coke Zero. And this is it. LaRon Council has been a super-duper star behind that offensive line, scoring 4 touchdowns on the ground. He's over 100 yards for the day. Ray's given there's the footballs. Ray's using
4 touchdowns.
Nice little electronic toy. I like that.
Isn't that fun?
And North Alabama coming in with a ridiculous plus 31 turnover margin. They don't have any turnovers that they have gained. They've given up the ball.
And that was, to me, that's how they got here. That was their chance to continue on and give all the credit in the world to Mel Churchman and his offense for taking care of the football. Joel Osborne and the council have done an outstanding job doing just that.
2nd and 21 for North Alabama. Down big. Milwee rolling. And is throwing it out of bounds outside of the tackle box and thrown beyond the line of scrimmage, so it's not grounding. Shane Shade. That's a great name, isn't it? Yeah. Shane Shade for a defensive lineman for anything. Sounds like a detective.
They put him in the shade technique a lot.
So now it's 3rd and 21 for the Lions.
That's the 5th throwaway by Milwee. If this were arena football, there'd be a lot of souvenirs being dished out today.
Right. They'd be in the stands. That's Shane Shade, big number 98. Sophomore from Des Moines, Iowa. 3rd and 21 for the Lions. A lot of pressure coming. Milwee reads it, gets it underway. Flag is down as the ball is caught by Bobby Williams right by the first down marker, but there's a flag back by the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's a high-low block. The illegal chop block. You had 1 man high, 1 man low.
Block on the offense, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yep, Ray saw it all the way to wipe out that first down.
Yeah, watch these two fellas working right here. You're going to get your classic high-low.
Yep.
1 goes high, 1 goes low. You can't have it. And that's Thomas Glenn and Covington Wright getting caught on that deal.
Glenn wearing number 66. He's usually number 68, but his jersey has gone missing.
Mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah. So the true freshman from Hazel Green, Alabama, converted defensive lineman, now wearing jersey number 66. Back him up 15 yards, so it's a chunky 3rd and 36 going into the wind. Milwee dumps it down on the screen to McClendon. McClendon running hard, puts his head down, gets down to the 32-yard line. Uramiki with the stop.
Well, North Alabama just never got the running game going today, and I think that's really hurt them. And I think they had an opportunity early in the game to try to do that. But in that first possession, in that first quarter, when they were going against the wind, they kept trying to throw the football, and it didn't work out for them. I really feel they missed the opportunity and missed the boat and not trying to establish that run early on, and now things have gotten out of hand.
They were down 20-0 after one quarter. Here's a 4th and 21. In a position where they have to go for it on every 4th down. That's an offsides against
Roach.
Against Northwest. Yep, Roach jumping.
Which you hate to see in football. I mean, the nose tackle. The guy's sitting right over the football.
91 of the defense. Offsides. Contact made with the offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That's what I call itchy ears, where you start listening to that quarterback instead of watching the football like you've been coached up since you were a little guy.
Boy, Tyler Roach, his helmet is all scarred up. Look at that. That's football, huh?
That's a nose tackle's helmet right there. Or he dragged it on the ground to tough it up a little bit.
He looks like a tough guy. From Elkhorn, Nebraska. Honorable mention all-conference this year. 4th and 16 after the penalty. Dropped. Ed Gant should have had that one.
Oh, you're not kidding. Ed Gant let that thing get into him, into his body, and he had his hands wrong. I think he had the thumbs up. He should have had the thumbs down. He's shaking his head over that one.
North Alabama's best opportunity. That's 6 points gone by the wayside with the drop.
When the job
awarded to cancer research. The lights are on. Northwest Missouri State. The folks, it is cold outside, but they're not feeling it because their team is beating North Alabama in every aspect, 41-7. The winner goes to the national championship game. Blake Bowles, the backup quarterback in, holds on to it as we go back to Wendy Nix in the studio.
Pam, thank you very much. And we continue to keep you up to date in this SEC championship game. Back and forth we go. Jeffrey Demps off the pitch right on in. And Florida has retaken the lead up by 4 over Alabama. Also, USC over UCLA 28-7, about 5.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
Thank you, Wendy. Wow, if Alabama does go down, more chaos will ensue. And the bowl subdivision. Swing pass to Kendall Wright. Wright runs for the 1st down after the reception up to the 41-yard line. His 3rd catch of the game. Unlike the bowl subdivision, we have championships decided on the field, and it will be done so next week in Florence, Alabama. High noon Central Time, 1 Eastern Time on ESPN2. The Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth take on the winner of this game. And unless something insane happens, it will be Northwest Missouri State playing in their 4th straight national championship game. We have an injured Bearcat, or excuse me, an injured Lion on the field. We will take a break and come back with more football.
ESPN's College Football is presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. And in part by Vitamin Water. It works. Try it.
That's the A&G Barn Grill in Maryville. A little OPA from the folks. It actually was destroyed by fire in 1995, but the students in the community came together to rebuild it. And in 1996, it was the state winner against all odds award going to the Missouri Small Business Development Centers, presented by them anyway. And a lot of these establishments in downtown Maryville are going to be hopping tonight because they're about to send their chaps off to their 4th straight national championship game. Meanwhile, the concern on the field is for Dominique Pittman, the junior from Pensacola, Florida, defensive end for North Alabama, who was shaken up on that last play.
And here's Pittman right there coming in at the end of this play. And boy, it looks like any other football play right there. Might have had his led with his head a little bit. And that's always a dangerous. Yeah, it's a dangerous situation. You hate to see that. at any point in a ball game. And being tended to down there on the field, and we hope the best for him.
Went head first into Kendall Wright, who caught the pass. It was a good look at Dominique, junior, who came to North Alabama as a tight end and now is a defensive end for this team.
Well, that's good. They got him sitting up. And that rules out a lot of problems.
And the Northwest players applauding along the sideline, because that's got to be obviously a scary thing for any football player to witness something like that, because you yourself are always just one play away perhaps from being the guy down on the field. Pittman's getting up.
Yeah, a lot of times in a situation like that, you just get knocked out cold, and then they got to kind of wait till you're revived and you come to before they can do an assessment. I've been in that situation.
Yeah, I think you've taken some knocks in the head.
Yeah, is it that obvious?
Yes, yes, it is.
I actually, this is a true story. I was playing with the Bills, playing against the Rams on a Monday night, and I got hit on a goal line play. And I got knocked out cold, and the trainer told me later on that when they came out there, I was snoring on the field.
Really?
Yes, actually, got myself some good rest. I was tired. It was a tiring game.
Well, at least you took advantage of that downtime.
No doubt.
And you were relatively all right afterwards.
As far as I know.
Yeah. So good to see Pittman being helped off the field, and we'll take a good look at him. First down for Northwest Missouri State. Blake Bowles, the backup quarterback, who is more proficient with his feet than Joel Osborne, hanging on to it. Let's go back to the 2 national championships for Northwest Missouri. Its first title in any sport came in 1998. They beat Carson Newman 24-6, first D2 team to win 15 games in a season. And then in 99, perhaps the best D2 game in history. How about 4 overtimes, 58-52 in the national championship game again against Carson Newman. They have been back there 3 times since, the last 3 seasons, and lost all 3 title games by a grand total of 12 points. A little shake and bake move by Sheldon Cook to get the first down into North Alabama territory. Courtney Moore, who was a transfer from Alabama, made the stop for the Lions.
See the multiple national championship football teams in Division II. Northwest Missouri State just under North Alabama. There are a few others with a pair of championships as well.
Churchma, 24 postseason wins, about to be 25. Greg Applegate, the tight end, incomplete, thrown to him.
Bearcats are now 4 of 7 in passing to the tight end, so hasn't been a huge impact, but you remember that early play that they went on their first touchdown drive when Josh Gannon made a big one-handed catch to get him down there in scoring position.
So on second down, Bowles changing up. Keeps it, terrific fake to Cook. And Bowles goes out of bounds, a couple yards short of the first down. Courtney Moore again inducing him towards the sidelines. Mel Churchma in his 15th year here, his 25th year overall, 2-time National Coach of the Year, and no one in Division II has more NCAA wins. He's got a couple of national championships, 3 straight national championship losses, and he told us that the 1998 title, the first one, was really special. They were 15-0 that season. In his first year, 0-11. So guys who redshirted during that 0-11 year were seniors and champions when they went 15-0.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that Adam Dorrell, his offensive coordinator, talked about, just the amazing turnaround and the whole different attitude of things. And, you know, last year, on the season opener, they named the field after Coach Churchma. And I asked him about that. He goes, you know, sometimes I'll joke to the kids about it. Get off of my field. And, well, it is his field. But, he says that's something that he doesn't really think too often about. And maybe down the road it'll really set in the significance of that. But I think it's certainly a worthy honor for Mel Churchma and the things that he's done here at Northwest Missouri State.
Bowles threw that one behind Raphael Robinson. 10 minutes, 24 seconds left to go in the game. Northwest Missouri State counting down to another trip to Florence. Join hosts Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, Lou Holtz, and Mark May as they review each of the 34 bowl games. They'll take a look at all the matchups on the Bowl Selection Special on ESPN tomorrow night at 8 Eastern Time. And there's going to be a lot of interesting matchups in the bowl games. That pass incomplete, intended for Ed Gant, who dropped a touchdown pass a little while ago. It's cold here. There's the temperature plummeting.
Oh, look at that.
That's what, 10 degrees Fahrenheit?
10 or 11.
Wow, about 10 degrees. And that's thermometer reading, and that not taking into account the wind chill. And we talked to some of our, not those guys, some of our camera people, the people on the crew who have been outside in this, and they have said they have never worked in conditions this cold. It's that bad. 5 receivers in. And falling on the ball, A.J. Milwee, who had big number 74 Mo Dampier and a host of other Bearcats in his face. Thomas Glenn coming up with the football.
Oh, and this one just slips out of Milwee's hands. I think his hands are getting a little cold. Watch this thing right on the back swing, so to speak. That thing just flops right out of his hands, and it ends up recovered by Thomas Glenn. Fortunately falls on it for the Lions, but not a good tape for Milwee. He's been hit 16 times. They've dropped 5 of his passes. He's had to throw it away 5 times. Been hurried 5 times. Just having a rough night.
In his last collegiate game, has a ball batted down in his face by Mike Mosley, junior from Houston.
That's the second one that's been batted away. This is not what A.J. Milwee foresaw when he was thinking about coming up here and trying to get his team back into the title game, which would have been right there in their backyard of their home field, Braley Municipal Stadium in Florence, Alabama.
Is that Saxey? Brian Sachs, our camera guy, all bundled up as the temperature continues to plummet. Will Batson in. He's had a rough day. Gets that one off, and the wind knocks it down again. Hair caught right at the 50 by Kendall Wright, one of the wide receivers for the Bearcats. Now 9 minutes and 23 seconds away from going into a warm locker room and then going to Alabama.
A.J. Milwee trying to hit a long ball down the sidelines, but Miles Burnsides steps in front, 33 yards, gets it all the way down to the 1-yard line. And that's where LC, LaRon Council, finished the drive off with a touchdown, and the Bearcats were off to the races.
LaRon Council with 4 rushing touchdowns today. Looks like his day is over. Jake Soy in. He's a receiver who gets the ball on the reverse and is pushed out of bounds around the 44-yard line by Montrell Kraft. His brother is a tight end on this team. Now, I don't know where. Oh, that's in front of the heater. There we go. That's the ticket. Get in front of that heater where it's 70 degrees warmer than the outside, than the real air temperature.
And that's where you would find me, were I down on the field area.
That was Kendall Wright, the wide receiver, number 4, standing right in front of that, right in front of the heater.
After the play, unnecessary roughness, personal foul, number 2 of the offense, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Wide receiver Nick Rhodes flagged for that infraction.
So the ball goes back to the 41-yard line for Northwest Missouri State. Blake Bowles, a sophomore from Lincoln, Nebraska. Second leading rusher on this team behind LaRon Council, who was well over 1,600 yards on the season. Bowles with 313 yards on the ground coming into this game. He's run for 13 yards on a couple of carries today and holds on to it. Runs into his own guy, ran into Brett Grosinger, who is in, and backup offensive lineman. So some backups getting in now for the Bearcats. Got to keep everybody healthy. That's Joel Osborne, got the hat on. That's a good sign we're not going to see him again when he's got the nice warm hat on. So keep these guys healthy as they get ready to play their 14th game of the season next year. Or next week, excuse me.
Next week, and also their 4th consecutive shot at bringing home the big one. 3 times they've gone. They've lost by 3, 4, and 5 points. Maybe this is the year for the Bearcats and Mel Churchma.
Michael Stadler's 4th punt. Under pressure, got it away. Charles McLean gets it and is spun down at the 25-yard line. That's where North Alabama takes over. Let's go back to those losses. In 2005, their first title game in 6 seasons, but Grand Valley State beat them 31-17. The very next season, again, it's Grand Valley State, but a 17-14 decision goes in favor of the Lakers. And then Valdosta State, Northwest was up 14-3 at the half last year, but Valdosta came back in the final minute to beat Mel Churchma's crew 25-20. And they are looking to get back to a town that they know very well, Florence, Alabama, which is the city where North Alabama is located. So they're going to have North Alabama. One team's going to have a happy trip there. One team a very unhappy trip. Brandon Pickett with the football. Taken down around the 33-yard line by Cam Weirson.
Here's the national championship signage for the Bearcats here on the facade of Bearcat Stadium. A wonderful facility regardless of division.
Oh yeah, very nice. But when they refurbished it, and if you notice when they showed the national champions, there's plenty of room to add to that.
Oh yeah, they left a little space.
Yeah, they did not center those national championship years. Plenty of room. McClendon with the carry. Goes out of bounds after he picks up the first down. Here's an update from Wendy Nix.
Thank you very much. It seems extremely likely now that Florida will move on to play for a national title. Tim Tebow, the Riley Cooper, who's had a huge game, that 5-yard pass for Florida up 31-20. Under 2 minutes now to go to play in this SEC championship. Meanwhile, Pat White and his West Virginia team getting ready for South Florida in the snow. It is cold. That game coming up 8 o'clock here on the Deuce.
Thank you, Wendy. So a big shakeup coming up. It looks like Florida will lose that, or excuse me, Alabama will lose the game to Florida. Bobby Williams with a first down catch for North Alabama. Big game coming up, Missouri and Oklahoma down the road at Kansas City for the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship on ABC tonight. Madness about to ensue.
Well, I'll tell you, if Oklahoma can get it done, I think a great BCS national title game would be Florida and Oklahoma. That'd be one I'd want to watch.
Of course, all the folks in Texas just would say to that, 45-35.
Yeah, I know.
Mike McClendon, the big guy, Mo Dampier, body slammed him. Big Mo has about 200 pounds on McClendon.
How about Big Mo making a play? And this is the flashes of things that I talked about. Believe me, that's a big, strong cat right there.
Brought in by Bobby Williams, had a good chance to catch that one. McClendon literally is half the weight of Mo Dampier.
And Mo has come in, talking to defensive coordinator Scott Bostwick. He said, you know, we get about 15 to 20 good downs from Mo. And we can get a little weight off of him.
Yep.
And look at that big Mo will eat you.
Maybe. 3rd and 8.
I can't imagine they go much past 6L,
yeah.
6LL.
He's still out there on 3rd and 8. Milwee, sideline, no. His receivers have not helped him. Gant has had a couple of passes. Just go right through him. And there's a big Mo fan. That's what we're talking about.
Well, he's a guy you can get behind.
Literally. He's from Decatur, Illinois. And again, the 375. That might be what he wants Santa to bring him for Christmas, is to weigh 375 when he wakes up. But again, the coaches like this kid. He's coming back. get some more weight off of him. And
he's got a great spirit.
Yeah, he's only a junior, so he'll have another season with the Bearcats. There he finally goes down in the three-point stance.
Yeah, he delays that a little bit. No, he's not in a hurry to get that hand down the dirt.
No, with a little punt that goes into the end zone. Northwest gets it at the 20-yard line as Big Mo heads over to the sidelines. Who is our player of the game? It is the Ray Bentley Award, and you're going with LC.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, 28 carries, 139 yards on the day, 4 touchdowns. And he took this team, and he really was the decisive factor on getting them the yards on the ground and establishing that physical presence. You know, he took the wind out of the game. You know, and when you can do that, when you got a pretty good wind, you deserve a Bentley Award. So congratulations to LC.
Now a third-string quarterback is in for Northwest Missouri. It's Blake Christopher, a 6'2", 190-pound freshman from Missouri, as another flag flies. Mel Churchma clearing his bench in the route.
Offsides, defense, made contact with the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And there's the smile that the coaches talked about, Ray. LaRon Council, all smiles, young man from the inner city of Kansas City, and has found a great home in Maryville, and what a terrific year in his first season as the featured back.
Hey, you can't get the smile off of that face here tonight, I promise you that. And you know, we talked about what a great story he is, and coming through some rough things and growing up, but never losing his spirit.
Clint Moore with the carry. We get you back to Wendy next with an update. Wendy.
Pam, thank you very much. The countdown is on as we get set for a Big 12 showdown at Arrowhead. You can see Bob Stoops arriving, his Oklahoma team getting ready to face Missouri. A possible showdown with Florida in the BCS title game, potentially at stake. Coming up 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC.
Thank you, Wendy. Florida has just defeated Alabama, the final 31-20. So it's not a good day for Alabama football teams. The Crimson Tide going down to Florida, and North Alabama going down hard to Northwest Missouri State. Clint Moore with another carry, a sophomore from Princeton, Missouri, having an opportunity to carry the football.
You know, Mel Churchman, his first year here, they were 0-11. And he came in and he cleaned house and he got things going. But to me, the thing that he did, he changed the culture and he got the community really involved. I mean, they are really in this region behind him. And you see some of the numbers and the things that he's been able to do. It's just mind-boggling, the ability that he had to turn this around. And growing up, he wanted to be a coach. Grew up on a farm, and he saw the hard work that was. He said it ain't like farming today where they got those air-conditioned tractors with radios in them and all that. He said you get the wind whipping and the dirt and sweat and all that. He said that wasn't his idea of a good time. So he decided he wanted to be a coach, and he gave his dad a lot of credit. Dad said, you know what, I'm going to be done. The farm is yours. And he said, well, Dad, I was thinking I wanted to coach. And that was a good decision right there.
Grew up in a farm in South Dakota, crop farm, had some cattle as well. His hero was Johnny Unitas, as he really remembers that incredible game between the Giants and the Colts in the late 50s. Horse collar tackle as Sheldon Cook goes down, but is close to a first down. Here's another penalty. Why not? But a big Baltimore Colts fan, loved Johnny U, but he never had the opportunity to meet him.
No, it said he saw that the greatest game ever played, and
Personal foul, horse collar tackle on the defense, 15-yard penalty.
Montrell Craft called for that, one of the new enforcements in the NCAA this year, but Churchma has really found a home here in Maryville.
That he has.
And boy, his players love him.
They do. Why not? You know, they say he's kind of grandfatherly, and he just has a way of getting inside you. And it's a pleasant way. He's not a screamer and a holler type guy. He's on your side. You know it. He still has discipline within his football team. He gets them to work hard, and he gets them to do things that maybe they didn't even think they could do. And to me, that's a sign of greatness.
Pitch to Sheldon Cook, who is stopped at the 45-yard line by Albert Russell, a backup defensive end, now in for North Alabama.
In fact, Coach Churchman told us one of his first jobs, he was a track coach. And the team won the state championship his first year, and he really thought he was something. He said, now looking back on it, he said anybody could have coached that team to a state championship.
Was a high school coach as well, and coached in Austin, Texas, and then has been here for the last 15 years and is about to go back to his 4th straight national championship game. 2nd and 12. Clint Moore with another carry, close to the original line of scrimmage. This is the NCAA Division II Championship semifinal. Northwest Missouri State has owned this ball game. They were up 20-0 in the first quarter and have not looked back. 4 rushing touchdowns for LaRon Council, who is run today for 139 yards on a very cold day. The thermometer is so cold it fell over. Minnesota Duluth waits to play the winner of this game. The Bulldogs with a very impressive win over California, Pennsylvania on the road today, and we will be there. What we hope is a warmer day next week in Florence for the national championship game.
I second that.
Clint Moore. Taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Montrell Craft. So Mark Hudspeth, a very disappointing way to end the season for North Alabama. The Lions will finish 12-2 on the year. Their only loss of the season to Delta State, which is Hudspeth's alma mater, by the way, was avenged last week in the quarterfinals when North Alabama beat them 55-34. Northwest Missouri State going to go to 13-1, beating Pittsburgh State, Abilene Christian, and now North Alabama. Big Mo's already celebrating. Michael Stadler into punt. Ball down at the 14. Coming up at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, that's a half hour from now on ABC. It's the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Chase Daniel leads number 20 Missouri against Sam Bradford at number 2 Oklahoma. The Sooners know that Alabama has lost. And winning the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game, Oklahoma could very well find themselves in the title game. Catch it tonight, 8 Eastern on ABC. Mel Churchman out to make that trip back. Florence, congratulating his staff. That's his defensive coordinator, Scott Bostwick, in the red cap. Great job. We were talking about North Alabama's defense coming in, plus 31 turnover margin. Looky here, 41-7. They've entered this game, North Alabama, averaging 44 points per game. They've scored 7 today. Charles McLean with the catch.
This Bearcat defense held Abilene Christian to their lowest point output of the season last week. Now they hold North Alabama to their lowest output of the season this week. And defense wins championships. So that's not just a cliche. That is a truism.
About to become the second Division II team to play in 4 straight championship games. They've lost the previous 3. But are going in on a big-time roll. Brandon Pickett taken down. And Northwest Missouri State, the Bearcats, all the locals around here, the townies, the spoof hounds, have a lot to whoop about tonight because the Bearcats have won 13 games for the 4th time under this man, Mel Churchman, and they have given North Alabama its worst loss since West Georgia beat them in November of 2001, 49-0. Northwest Missouri State advancing to Florence for the 4th straight year to play for the national championship in North Alabama's home stadium, and will do so against the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth. So you have a championship team, Northwest Missouri State, playing in its 6th championship game. The Bulldogs playing in championship game number 1.
And they're going to need some new goalposts on each end of the field. A tradition here at Northwest Missouri State. Tear them down.
Now, they're not going to play another game here until next September in a convincing win. LaRon Council, 4 rushing touchdowns, 139 yards on the ground. He has 35 rushing touchdowns this season. So our final score, Northwest Missouri State wins it 41-7. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Ray Bentley, our entire ESPN crew, I'm Pam Ward saying so long from Maryville. Here's Wendy Nix.